We on end of day 7? It's upside down for some reason.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises.
You got it?
I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Okay, we're going to go into a lesson regarding the Israelite foreigners, man. The fact that first of all, who are the Israelites? Okay, and proving that the Israelites are the chosen people of the Most High, and on top of that, proving that they have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay. Matter of fact, yeah, let's go ahead and start off with that in Ezekiel.
This is Ezekiel chapter 22, starting at verse 13. It says, "Behold, therefore I have smitten my hand at thy dishonest gain which thou hast made, and that thy blood which there has been in the midst of thee."
Yeah, man. Israel was notorious for sacrificing their children. Israel was notorious for committing spiritual adultery against the Most High by going against the law, statutes, and commandments that he had set up. Matter of fact, Hosea 1:9, we can get that. Okay? Because that's the reason why the Lord cast us away and put us in the position that we're in right now, subject to the self-proclaimed white man. And if you don't think that you're in captivity, if you cannot see that, the Lord is not dealing with you, man.
Hosea chapter 1, verse 9, it says, "Then said Yahweh, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power."
Right. I'm ya, not my people, is what Lo Ami means. And that's what the Most High said, okay, to us as a nation, essentially, by casting us away out of his sight.
Right.
Go ahead. And, in Hosea. Yeah, if you don't mind.
This is Hosea, back in Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. And it reads, "Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power."
Right. And where was it said that we are not the sons of the Most High? Here in America, man. Okay, where they told us that we were just niggas and
African Americans
and Negroes, and for the Northern Kingdom, you were called, Mexicans and Colombians and Uruguayans and all of these different countries that Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, basically created and named after his own lands, but they're originally your lands. The Most High allowed the Northern Kingdom to inhabit South America, what's known as South America and Central America and North America. We had the whole, from Canada to Chile or whatever is at the bottom, Argentina or whatever.
Right.
Okay? Until the conquistadors came over here during the time of the Renaissance, okay? And put us in captivity, man. And we've been under this man's rulership until to this very day, okay? But originally, we were all in one land. All of the tribes that you see here on the chart were all in the land of Israel, man. Okay? And so us being scattered is a punishment for our disobedience.
Right.
Is there more? Well, actually, that was the point, right? Okay. Let's go back to Jeremiah. To you read in Ezekiel, right? No, Ezekiel 22.
Somebody hold Jeremiah 15?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, come on. Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, you want him to?
Jeremiah 15:1. It goes into what you just read.
Okay.
Yeah. Goes right into Hosea, the first chapter, but you know what we just read in Jeremiah 15, verse 1.
Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
Right. And we were cast out of the sight of the Most High many times, man. Multiple times. They're in the Assyrian captivity with the northern kingdom, you know. And then you had, during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian Empire, when the southern kingdom was taken out, during the time of Jeremiah, which we're reading about. And then multiple times over and over and over with the following captivities.
Right.
Okay? Now we are in the last captivity, and we know that we're in the last captivity if you read Lamentations 4 and 22.
Right. Right.
And we know after this, there's not going to be any more crying or anything, man. Okay? Like it's written about in Revelation 17 and 7, I believe.
Because it said, though Moses and Aaron stand before, or though Moses and Samuel stand before me, my face can't be towards this people. Moses and Samuel were priests. You know, they were Moses was a mediator and intercessor for the children of Israel during the time of the wilderness. You know, and Samuel, of course, was a priest and he was a prophet, which are greatly esteemed men. So it says, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, my face can't be towards these people. That's why the Lord cast us away, because of what? We were serving idols. You know, we were following after the customs of the heathen, consistently making the Lord mad, making them jealous. So this captivity where we came here to the Americas, we literally lost our heritage. We lost the fact of who we even were as a people. You know, and which proves that we are the Israelites. You know, that doesn't fit nobody else.
Yeah, I meant to say Revelation 7 and 17. The scripture I quoted. Is there more on that in Jeremiah? That's it on that?
Yeah, read verse 2 real quick. Baba Kashaw.
This is Jeremiah 15 and 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such are for the captive to the captive.
Yeah, because many people, when they experience the things that the Most High is about to put on them, will think that the devil did it, or that this was an ill fate. But we know that if we read this verse right here, these couple verses, that this is the will of the Most High, man.
Right.
Okay, what is that in 1 Samuel chapter 2? Is that the 10th verse? Where it talks about the Lord kills and makes alive?
Yeah, first Samuel chapter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either verse 7 or verse 10. 1 Samuel chapter 2.
It's in Deuteronomy 32 as well.
Yeah. Because the Lord is the one that decides where the spirits go, man. Whether they remain in your body or whether they go up to the spirit world, man. The Most High is in control of that. Okay? And many people don't understand that, especially individuals in the Christian church, which through the Spirit, the Christian church, I would say, is losing more followers than it is gaining right now.
Yep.
Because you can't even go to church right now. You can't even congregate in those, in those buildings that they have for worship.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
The Lord kills and make alive, man. He bring it down to the grave, meaning he kill you. He allows you to be put to death. Okay, and it says what? He bringeth up as well. So he resurrects. He has the power to bring life again, man. Mm-hmm. Physically to a dead body, which the Lord did, and also Peter did. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then also to a physical, lively body, but a spiritually dead body, man. A spiritually dead individual, I should say.
Yep.
You know?
Ezekiel 37.
Right. That's what we're seeing, man. He has the power to make us lively again. Yeah.
Well, going to, like you say, the Lord kill him and make him alive. He's the true omnipower, you know. And what you see in here, you have these Christians that go out and they're trying to say, "Oh, we're gonna defeat this. This is all basically the devil." But they don't have that understanding, the spiritual understanding that all this is written by the Most High. Okay, so when you seeing all the death, and well, actually you would see more and more death that's starting to come about. It's through the Most High. Even like you said, how we were scattered through the four corners of the earth. It was written. That was a prophecy at the time, but then it became true. Okay, the prophecy came to pass. So when you see it in the scriptures, the Lord, He killeth and maketh alive. The Lord is omnipotent power. He does all, and it's nothing done unless He gives the go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs 21:16, the man that wandereth out of the congregation, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead.
And most of these individuals are not walking in understanding. And so they are in the congregation of the dead. Does that mean everybody is physical zombies walking around like Thriller? Or is that talking about something in a more metaphorical sense? That's talking about the people that are walking around or do not have a connection. There's three reasons. One, they may not be an Israelite. If they're not an Israelite, they're not going to have a connection with the Most High like that, like the Israelites do. Or they may be an Israelite who the Most High is blinded, man. You know? And that's what it talks about in the book of Romans, where it talks about Israel, has a zeal of the Most High, man. But it's only given unto the elect, you know?
He said that zeal was not according to knowledge, and priest mentioned Ezekiel 37. And what's happening now? We got that body, those bones, those dry bones in that valley. What is the valley of death? This is America, right? This is basically full of wickedness and death. So the bones are starting to gather that skin, that flesh, okay? Yep. And those the elect is gonna know, but the other of the two-thirds, they're not gonna have the understanding, so they're gonna stay in the valley of death. And what's gonna happen in sooner than later time? Destruction with thermonuclear destruction. Right. They're gonna be involved in it because they're gonna remain as dry bones when the destruction comes upon the valley of death, which is America.
It's Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
You see, Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, which is what? Israel wants to receive greatness. You know?
The truth.
Yeah,
they want the truth.
Yeah, they want to shine and all of that stuff. Even the wicked jakes in the world, they still aspire to be great. Though we're in a low estate, they aspire to be great here. But they have not obtained that kingdom that they want, that rulership and dominion that they want, because the Most High has preserved that lot, if you will, for the elect.
I mean, even just backing up the brother's point, you know what I mean? It says Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for. You know, and Jake, like the brother mentioned earlier, has a zeal not according to knowledge. But even with that, what are they trying to obtain? What are they attaining? They follow after the so-called white man. They follow after Jesus Christ, going into these churches, thinking that that's the truth. But whenever they hear the actual truth of the scriptures, you know, they get offended. You know, they don't want to hear it. They ask, why can't another nation? Why can't the so-called white man make it? Or how come a Chinese man can't make it? When it comes with greatness, Jake doesn't want to aspire after greatness, man. You know, they would rather have the heathen be great before them. So the election had to obtain the understanding that, look, the Most High is going to destroy this place. And he's going to raise up the 12 tribes of the children of Israel to be rulers in the next world to come. And we're going to be over the heathen. Right. That's what the Lord wants. That's what's written. That's the promise, man. But Jake, you know, they've attained a lie. That's why it tells you what, in 1 Corinthians 4:3 or 2 Corinthians 4:3, it tells you they follow it talks about man, let me just grab it real quick if you don't mind, bro. 1 Corinthians 4:3, real quick. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, or 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. It says,
If our gospel be hid.
It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, right? It is hid to those that have not obtained the election. Lord willing, we of the elect as well, you know what I'm saying? But they haven't obtained the truth. It says, in whom the gods of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them.
Yep.
You got it.
And that's the reason that the key point in that verse is lest.
Right.
Because the Most High don't want this truth to be given unto those who are unworthy. That's why Yahweh said, do not cast your pearls before the swine, man. Let's get that 2 Thessalonians.
Time.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 10. And with all deceitfulness of the unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Right, talking about the 2/3. Because the 2/3 are the only, the Israelites are the only individuals who are eligible for salvation.
Right.
These other nations don't need to be saved. They're the ones who are the reason why we need to be saved. They have us pinned down.
Right.
You know? So if they're the top dog here, what do they need to be saved from?
Right.
They're the
already
ones in
saved.
control.
Yeah.
The scripture said, unless the days of Jacob shall be short, no flesh shall be saved, man. Because this devil going to destroy himself. So he has the power to not destroy himself. But the Lord put the spirit on him to do that, to fulfill prophecy, to do what he's doing now. You know, to build up social tension and unrest, and stir up confusion, and put out all sorts of propaganda to make people not look at what he's really doing behind the scenes, which is we really bringing it to the front scene. Because YouTube, it's not the dark web. You don't have to have a secret password to access these videos.
Right.
But it's just not looked upon as, these videos are not looked upon as something that to be put out on the news, because it's very controversial. It requires faith to receive. And it's only really for a specific group of people to receive anyway.
Yep. It's revealing it's revealing Esau's it's revealing Esau's agenda. It's pretty much his skirt is being lifted up.
Nahum 3.
You know?
Nahum 3 after you are you done with that? In 2 Thessalonians? Go ahead. And you get Nahum 3 after that.
And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion.
The Most High is sending them strong delusion. Talk about who? The 2/3 are being sent to delusion.
You got to start up on that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start up.
I didn't
on
want
that.
to go on a whole tangent.
Well, no, it goes in how Esau pretty much, how he's the wicked, and how pretty much with his lies he done deceived 2/3 of our people with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's up to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Start up 2 verses from where we started at. Start at verse 8.
And then shall the wicked be revealed,
Which is what we're seeing now. You got that, Nahum? Nahum 3.
Yeah, this is Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. And it reads, it says, behold, I am against thee, said Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirt upon thy face.
Yeah, so they're talking about Esau, man. Okay, the wicked. He's being revealed, and to discover your skirts upon your face basically mean your raiment being lifted up, and we seeing all of the private things that you got hidden up under there. Because you know how women be having them, what's them little waist train things, waist things?
Yeah.
But they got it underneath their clothes, so you can't see it. So it make them look like they fit, and then when they take the thing off, their whole stomach come out.
Yeah.
Well, if that dress be lifted up or that skirt be lifted up, you can see all them stretch marks and what's some vein things called? Damn
Cellulite.
cellulite and all that nasty shit that we don't like to see a woman have that she be trying to cover up because she know it ain't right. That's being revealed, man. And this woman is so filthy, all of the nasty stuff you can think for a woman to have spiritually is likened unto the Great War, man. Right. Okay?
The bumps and herpes.
Yeah, all of the STDs on the list. Blue waffle, every damn thing.
Yeah.
So you lift that up, you be like, oh.
You see a Whataburger bag hanging out of there?
Everything. Right? So, yeah, right? So go ahead.
It says, behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Right. Like, remember, I don't know how many of y'all brothers watch Game of Thrones, but like, I think of the second to last season where Cersei had got locked up by them religious people, and then basically they were like, look, if you want to be free out of this jail, you're gonna have to do basically the walk of shame, so to speak. And they took her and put her in front of the whole congregation that she so-called repented and said, you know, I'd bow down to whatever God they was worshiping so that she could get up out of there, right? And what they do, they had all of the people in the city and they stripped all her clothes off, right? And made her walk from the jail all the way to the castle where she was at. And then the lady behind her who was orchestrating the whole thing, she kept saying, shame, shame, shame. And then people was throwing tomatoes and shit on her. By the time she got to the castle, she was so degraded, she just felt like a piece of shit. So read that part again.
This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. It says, behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. And I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdom thy shame.
Yeah, so it's a shameful thing to be shown your nakedness, man. Okay? And this place, which has hidden so many wicked things, is going to be revealed, man, for all the things that it's done. It's being revealed as we speak. That's why we're going into it. I think that's the point, right? I mean, if there's more, but I think that's the point, right? Okay, let's go back to what we had in 2 Thessalonians. I want to circle back up.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
What is the spirit of his mouth? The prophecies, and then also too, the word that he's speaking is going to cause this place to be destroyed, right? Which is the prophecies. And part of the prophecies include thermonuclear missiles, of course, destruction by the chariots. So all of the destruction that is prescribed or written before time is going to come to pass. Okay, that's the spirit of his mouth. Go ahead.
And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Yeah, because we wanted to get some context.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan.
Yeah. So who is it? Job 9:24. If not, where and who is he? Who is the individual that's working the most wickedness on the earth? You know, process of elimination. Come on, go ahead.
With all power and signs and lying wonders.
And the same individual or the same nation of people that Paul was writing about that was in power at that time are in power now.
All knew who they was.
Yeah, exactly. Because the nations didn't go away. The table of nations in Genesis and all of the we still had a lot of the genealogy, you know, the Israelites, I should say. The tribe of Judah still had a lot of, had a lot of their genealogy going back to all the way to the actual Judah. You know? So Esau he knew who the Edomites were. Go ahead, bro.
Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them.
Right. So all of the nations that the Most High allowed to be fruitful and multiply, they're still here, man.
Right.
And the only nation that's really going to ever go away is the Edomites.
Yep.
In the kingdom of heaven, after that 1,000 years, when they serve that captivity, it's going to be it.
Yep.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Yep. What verse was that?
2 Thessalonians 2.
Okay, yeah, the son of perdition, man, the son of destruction, the man who orchestrates and who's responsible for all of the destruction that we've seen up until this point and that we're gonna see. Because the Bible talks about the 3 world wars, World War I, II, and III. Well, who was the main perpetrator of these wars, man?
Yep.
The
And also,
Edomites.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you got it, bro.
I was gonna say, and it also proves when you read that read that one more time. That verse.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first.
Which that happened where we read in Hosea 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It says in the land where it says, "Ye are not my people," it was here. We knew we knew we were Israelites in the different captivities, but chiefly here, we didn't know who we were. But it tells you, it says there was going to be a falling away first, and then that man should be revealed.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Now that man is being revealed to be the devil, Esau, and we're waking up to who we are, which proves that Esau, he has to be the so-called white man. He has to be. You know? Salaki, bro, you got it.
It says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
The man of sin, you know, the baby blood drinker, organ donor, organ harvesting devil, man.
Organ harvesting.
You know, I'm trying to think of all the things he does, but it's like the list is too long. You can't even go down the whole list.
You'll be here till Yahweh shall come back talking.
Vaccine, like acting like this is good for you, but it's really poison creating devil, man. Chemtrail, blood spraying devil, man. You know?
You got Donald Trump talking about how he thinks that people should get injected with disinfectant to fight against the coronavirus.
Bro, I'm tired of talking about the coronavirus, bro. Like, bro,
He's the devil. You know what I'm saying?
There's more people that dying of the common cold or the flu or whatever than the coronavirus.
That's the leader of your nation.
Yep.
Telling your ass to inject Lysol in.
Yeah. Penicillin.
Clorox.
This place has to go, man. It's run its course. You know?
They take this disinfectant IV.
He's just trying to find a way to kill our people, man.
Then he said he was joking.
Man, shit.
I mean, what if somebody tried that shit?
Right.
If you're the leader, you gotta watch what you say, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if Apostle Tahar came on the camera, take crack. You know, brothers, a few will go try it. All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people really took that backs, man. I mean, probably somebody really drunk some or did something stupid. This man is the devil.
Yep.
Oh, that was a precept. Because we read in the actual same chapter, so we can go back to that.
I'm about to say, I thought y'all was in the same
Yeah,
chapter.
we know, we are.
Yeah.
No, is that all in 1 Thessalonians? Is that it? If that is,
I know you want to read down to verse 11, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Nah, we were reading down the chapter. But that's that whole chapter's good. You can read it.
2 Thessalonians chapter 9. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceitfulness of the unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
Right. So all of the workings that he has set his hand to do in these last times are meant to deceive everyone except for the elect, man. Those who are going to perish are going to be deceived, are being deceived. Because if they weren't deceived, they would know to work the works of righteousness, man, so that they could be saved, right? But later down in the chapter, it talks about those who are going to be damned or condemned to destruction that believe not the gospel of Yahushua. So there's only two sides, man. You're either for the Lord or not for the Lord, which means you're against him.
Right. That's right.
Okay? Go ahead, bro.
That they might be saved. Yeah. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion.
Yep.
That they should believe a lie.
Right. Which alludes back to what we're reading in Romans 11 and 7.
Right.
Okay. Basically, the Israelites that tried to be on point, try to be, good, which is a majority of they want to be successful and they want to be great, but they're not willing to go through the proper channels to get there, man. Because we're not in a position to overtake anything or anybody or have a say-so in anything as slaves here in America. So we need a higher power source to tap into to be able to even have a chance. And then the scriptures say what? The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, so we're not going to be able to overthrow him through physical means. We literally need to be saved out of this situation. We need a reset button. Because the game that we're in right now, the situation that we're in right now, there is no other way for us to be good like Jake want to be, right? Like Jake want to be sovereign and Wakanda forever and all of this, you know, that's not going to happen, man. Unless the Lord takes down Babylon, America the Great, and brings us up.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Deontay Wilder was the last hope.
Man, he got his ear busted and it's over.
Lip flying all the way over here. Yep.
He was praying to some Alabama river demon and got his ass knocked out.
Man, the only way that we can win and this devil can go down is if the one that gave him the blessing takes his blessing from him. You know what I'm saying? Like the saying, like you might hear your mama say, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. Hey man, you know, Yahweh Shai, man, he gave Esau the blessing. So what he gonna do? He that same blessing that he took, that he gave to him, he's gonna be the one to put him down. You know?
Let's get that one real quick. Just to go into what you're saying.
Okay.
The Lord, obviously we went into earlier, the Lord has power to kill and make alive. Well, he also has the power to take down kingdoms.
Right.
And bring kingdoms up. Go ahead, bro.
Second Esdras 4:29. And they which did gainsay, they promise, and believe not, thy covenants have trodden them down. If thou didst so much hate thy people, yet shouldest thou punish them with thine own hands? Now when I had spoken these words, the angel that came to me the night afore was sent unto me, and said unto me, hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell thee more.
Chapter 4. 4:29. Second Ezra, I got it right here. I can read it.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's Second Ezra chapter 4:29. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. So that which is sown with good, which is the kingdom of Israel, cannot come forth unless this wicked kingdom is brought down, man. And the Lord planted that evil seed in the earth, going all the way back to the garden with Cain. With the serpent, the seed of the serpent. Okay, and then Cain, and then that same spirit passed down through Esau after the flood. And ever since that line of Edomites has been here, that seed, that evil seed has been here, causing all types of chaos on the earth. And so until that plant is uprooted, if you will, we won't be able to thrive as the righteous nation on the earth, man.
Yep. Psalm 22, verse 28. Actually, I saw the verse 27. All the ends of the world shall remember and turn unto Yahweh, and all the kindreds of the nations shall worship before thee. For the kingdom is Yahweh's, and he is the governor among the nations. Yeah, he's the governor among the nations. Pretty much, you see these different nations moving. You got Esau scrambling around. You got Moab, you know, setting up their issues over there in China. You know, you got Iran in prophecy getting ready to move. You got Russia in prophecy moving. Hey, the scripture says that the Lord is the governor of the nations, man. So all these different there's no nation, there's no person, there's nobody on the planet Earth that's not moving to the will and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Esau is moving to the Lord's tune. And the Lord ain't moving on Esau's tune. Esau is doing 100% exactly what the Lord wants him to do right now.
Right.
Even when it looks like it's a dire situation where things is going to hit the fan and it looks like there's going to be no hope, the Lord he's going to put the spirit on Esau to make him do that. Yeah. He put the spirit on Esau to bring us down. You see? He put the spirit on Esau to have a perpetual hatred towards us. He's going to put the spirit on Esau to come down with great wrath. You see? To the mark of the beast. Yeah. For him to push that's the Lord doing that, man. Yeah. You know, but it all takes place for prophecy to take place. You know? It's all according for the prophecies of the Lord to come to pass.
Yeah.
You got it, bro.
It's Pharaoh. He hardened Pharaoh's heart. You know, back in Egypt. This is Sodom in Egypt, you know, spiritually, and that's what he's been doing. He's been hardening Esau's heart for so long. Like I say, now he got sown evil all over the world. So what Yahweh Shai's going to do? It's reaping season. He's going to come take up and uproot all this wickedness, thermonuclear destruction, also by fire, by way of the chariots. And then he's going to bring forth honorable fruit. Okay, and who is that? That's the nation of Israel, starting with the elect.
Before those chariots come, he's going to destroy it from within. First, he's going to send, because as the brother said, as Yahweh speaks through Yahweh Shai, speaks through us. So they're walking to the tune of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai and the prophets. Okay? But before this place falls, it's going to be in a strong deluge. It's going to be a very, what did it say? The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit.
That's right.
In the midst of Egypt. And if you look at the rulership, you look at the news, you look at what's going on, you can clearly see that this place is in absolutely disarray. That's a higher power doing it. The Lord got them looking stupid.
How are the hidden things of Esau searched out?
Yeah, they got
you know what I'm saying?
This word is out.
Yeah.
I think you got a guy on.
Yeah, we just got some. This is Psalm 75 and 6. It says, for promotion, when you go into promotion, it means rulership. It says, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He put him down one and set it up another.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, so the Most High puts down one and sets up another kingdom, man. One individual sets up another king after him. And that's the judgment of the Lord. This is all according to what he has planned. And it's all predestined, man. That's right. We know that this is all written aforetime because, first of all, prophecy was say before, but when you read, I always go into it. Ephesians, the first chapter, talks about how the elect were predestined all the way from the beginning, man. Before the Lord even started this movie that we're in, he gave the roles to every individual spirit. So all we have to do is play our position. Okay? Was there more in that book?
Nah, that's it.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's get that song.
Psalms 2, starting at 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Right, that vain thing that they imagine is that their kingdom is going to continue forever.
That's right, brother. That's right.
They think that, it's going to be World War III and then, 200 years after that or 75 years after that, it's going to be another transition of power and it's going to continue and on and on and on and on and on in wickedness. We're telling you that there's not going to be no year 3000, no year 2050, Lord willing, this place ends in a few years, man, or less.
This year is shit.
Right, or less. Right. However long it takes, we're willing to continue to push. Okay? But Lord willing, man, we hasten the day. We're gonna continue to hasten this coming, man. Because the prophets are continually sighing and crying. That means why would we want to sigh and cry to the Most High, cry out to the Most High to deliver us if we were in just this great position?
Right.
If we were just chilling and in rulership. We're going to be sighing and crying even more so when Jacob trouble come, man. Because, I said it earlier, but unless those days were short, no flesh is going to be saved, man. You see, people think that they can just kind of still live like this, with the government shutdown, because they can still watch Netflix, and they can still drive around their car, and they can still FaceTime their family members, they can still order Bath and Body Works off of Amazon. But when y'all think it hit the fan now, wait till Esau has this whole thing on lock, man. Right. You can't even go outside without a drone ready to blast your ass. Right. Or you can't buy nothing without this. That's what we're going into the prophecies. You won't be able to buy nothing without the RFID chip, man. And the mark of the beast is not no damn vaccine, man. Now, is Esau pushing vaccines to get people in the habit of taking shots in order to comply with whatever regulations he may have at the time? Okay, that's understandable. But the mark of the beast charagma is an incision, man. It's an implant that's going to be inserted into your hand that's not going to allow you to buy or sell unless you have that chip, man. Yeah. Okay? Oh, you say what? Yeah, if you want to get it, Because people think that, since a lot of the vaccine is being pushed more and more, that's the mark of the beast, which is not the case. Now, we don't advocate for, Israelites to get for anybody to get vaccine, okay? Because you're not supposed to stick yourself with anything, inject anything in your bloodstream. You already have a vaccination system in your body.
And your tonsils is a vaccine.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I mean, the vaccine, like the brother beautifully is going into, is a part of his enterprise. It's a part of what he wants to do to still pretty much kill Jake off. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get the vaccine, you know, you ever got a flu vaccine and you just got hella sick afterwards? I'm talking about the guy that had the worst flu of your life. I had got a vaccine once before the truth. It was a flu shot. You know, it was a flu shot or whatever. Man, I'm talking about I had the worst cold I've ever experienced in my life, man.
Same thing happened to me when I was in college, man. That's like the last time I had a so-called flu shot was in college. And I remember like that following fall, winter, man. Like that was one of the sickest winters I ever been in my life, man. You know? So, yeah, there's validity to that.
Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their house shall continue forever. Their dwelling places to all generations.
Right. So Esau thinks that the moves that he's making now is setting up for his great grandchildren. Which that has been the case up until this point. Because we're seeing the downfall of his kingdom. See, he's been in rulership. Esau, self-proclaimed white man, in general has been in rulership since the Renaissance.
Right.
You know, he's been gaining power. He's been at the head now. Was it America the whole time? No. Of course, you had, you know, Europe, and it took a while for that power to transition over here. You know, really, America really became the real top dog after World War II. But it was all going down.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We're seeing the NATO and the EU bickering one amongst another. We're seeing this financial system collapse. We're seeing them disagree on certain military viewpoints. You know, because they all have their country's individual interests at heart, at the center of everything. Though they may have come together, they're not completely united, man. That's that book of Daniel where it talks about at the bottom is going to be a kingdom that's mixed partly with iron and part with miry clay.
Yep.
Okay, because they're going to come together for a while and it's going to look good enough until there's that tension, and when that tension is brought, it's going to be shown that there's no true unity, man. Versus the brotherhood, the elect, we have an unbreakable bond, man. That's right. Because we're all unified through one, Yahweh B'Hashim Yahushua. You see? And the scripture says in Romans the 8th chapter that nothing can separate us for the love that we have in Yahweh B'Hashim Yahushua. But Esau, he just wants to rule. That's right. He wants to be able to do what he wants to do.
Yep.
And if that involves killing his nation, because not every Edomite understands that they're Edomites.
Yep.
Most Edomites don't understand it and believe it. They may have been told it, but they don't really believe that they are Edomites and that when they go to war with Russia, that they really killing each other.
Right.
You know, when Spain goes to war with whoever, when France and Spain used to go to war and Great Britain used to go to war back in the 16th, 17th, 18th century, they used to fight each other. They really killing amongst each other. World War I and II. Germany against, the Axis power versus the Allies. That was mostly Edomite country. You had Italy, Germany, Russia was in there a little bit. Versus America. Oh, you had Japan. You had not Moab, Ammon. They was fighting up in there, but they always trying to fight for power. They wanted world dominance, man. And we want world dominance, but we're going about it in a whole completely different way. You got something?
But that's what Esau, when he's basically have took over the world, they don't do nothing but start warring against one another. So they would never be at peace.
Psalm 140. Whenever. No, go ahead, finish the point.
And you mentioned how you're going to be brought down. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse, I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, "And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed at the end, that everyone at the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter."
To be dismayed means like bewildered. Like you like, damn, like all of the things that you thought were possible just completely, all things that you thought were impossible just completely happened in your eyes, before your eyes. To where they just can't believe it. They're dumbfounded. They're mighty men. They're army men. You know, they're extra smart economists, scientists. You know, all of that. Because Teman is not only is a chief city in Edom, but it's also, I believe, the head of like the smart inventions that used to come out of Edom, man.
Yep.
You know.
They were the wise men of the east, if you will. It was the grandson of Esau and the son of Eliphaz. You know, but Teman, like the brothers going into beautiful, would be like the Einstein.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you could think of it in Germany too, but I was just saying like American. American way.
Yeah.
You know? And so they're going to be dismayed.
Right.
You know, the monthly prognosticators, if you will, the stargazers and the wizards and witches and warlocks, because all of the work they put in, all the studying and all of these other different, not religious, but cultures and stuff like that, because Esau be going in the sarcophagus of the ancient pharaohs, and he be taking his ass to China and trying to dig up the Zing dynasty, and then he'll take his ass over to Russia and mess stuff up over there, then he'll go over to Turkey and see what was going on during the Byzantine Empire. The thought of his heart is deep. He's seeking out as deep and dark as he can to find out ways to take over the Israelites.
Esau, man, Esau is diligent.
Yeah.
Esau is extreme. That's why the scripture says that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light. That's what Yahushua said, man.
Yep.
You know, Esau is extremely diligent, man. That's why the scripture says that in Ezekiel 28, he is wiser than Daniel. He seeks out every damn thing, man. You know, well, like the brother was going into, you know, digging up bones of King David and trying to figure out certain things in the land and finding certain relics and things like that. You know, because at the end of the day, like the brother said beautifully, man, his MO at the end of the day is to destroy Israel, man.
Yeah.
So he's gonna.
Who's been scattered across the? So how you gonna destroy a nation that's been scattered across the land, or across the earth? Excuse me. So he gotta basically destroy the whole earth.
Yep.
And that's what he's about to attempt to do.
Yep.
You see, he hopes that he can kill as many Israelites as possible in this war, and just have it to where it's the elite of the elite, the 1% of the 1% top dog elite banking families running and mind controlling, 500 million people, man, around that area. Just enough to maintain the earth and keep them rich and in the back scene while you have the worker bees working. Because what does the mother bee do? All she does is lay eggs. And the honeybee is the one busting their ass, flying from the 47th floor of this building where they got their nest to the field out here to collect pollen for who? The queen. And then for themselves too. And then to nourish the larva or whatever the egg things, right, when they hatch. So they can continue to cycle and continue to work. But the core of that is the queen bee, which is the one that's really making everything run, because she has all of these other bees, the worker bees, honeybees, doing the work for her. So where she don't gotta go out and collect the honey, if you will. Collect the pollen and turn it into honey. All she gotta do is keep laying them eggs. So Esau wanna be the one that's just sitting there and controlling everything from the background while he lives lavishly, man. But that's not gonna, his enterprise is not gonna become a success. Go ahead, you said this.
That remind me of this movie Rat Race that came out some years ago. And it was a comedy, but you can look at it, it's basically the true persona of Esau. The elite. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They were up there in they lavish building all these rich Edomites. And what they were doing is they were setting people up. Hey, they had a little bet. Like they would just make bets and put money on it. How these people going out running like chicken with their heads cut off, doing all type of madness and shit, trying to get money. And that's what Esau. That's basically the epitome of Esau. He wants to rule, which he rules everything, but he want to rule everything like the Most High. He don't want you to go anywhere, do anything unless he knows it. You go to bed or wake up. Go to your refrigerator. He wants to know this.
And how will he be able to secure that knowledge? Through a vaccine or through a chip, man? Well, a computer chip where he can track your whereabouts. He can track every damn thing. He has all your records on that mug. Because a phone, we can take our phones and chuck it in the street and let that damn bus roll over it. Right. And he ain't got, he got our text messages and all that. But there's people on the earth, man, which is why he's trying to chip everybody. Okay? That's the ID 2020 agenda. Right. Those individuals who do not have registered ID, okay, he cannot track those people. What's that Jake? Not Jake, he might be, but the dude out there and wherever the hell he is, he got like one little shovel and he be building big ass sand mansions. You know what I'm talking about? You know? Esau can't track that dude. He out there in the middle of, I don't even know what continent he in. Doing his thing, right? But Esau want to come and chip his ass so he can know where he at and what he just see. He's a demon, man. Let's read that.
That's why Esau, if I may say, going into the point, land backing real fast. That's why. Why do you think Esau's trying to do a 2020 census before he pushes ID 2020? You see what I'm saying? He's trying to census. He's trying to count and number all the people, man.
Right. Yeah.
So that he has a database within the number, and then he can go ahead and implement the chip. Whereas everybody could be tracked and monitored through this global network or this global blockchain system.
Right. And any Israelite that's putting the Israelite as they little other tab on their census. Man. First of all, personally, I guess you're not wicked if you fill out a census. I'm not filling out no damn census. Okay? But if you putting Hebrew Israelite on your census, bro, you tell Esau that you a Hebrew Israelite. Right. Unless you just want everybody to know.
Jake ain't, man. Jake,
you gotta be prudent, man.
Ain't prudent,
you know. But that's neither here nor there. Just like, don't do that, bro. Just go ahead, bro. Let's read that. If you're gonna fill it out, just put you black, man.
Put African American.
Right. Yeah. Whatever it say. I don't even know what to say.
Black.
Right.
Black.
Psalm 64 and 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Right. So Esau ponders on different ways to put hell on Jacob. That's his purpose, man. To make the Israelites' life here hell. Okay? Which we've been put here to receive judgment in these lifetimes, in these times. Because when have we really won here in the lives that we're living in right now? Who's the most successful Jake you can think of? Michael Jordan, like Jake talking about some damn Jay-Z, Floyd Mayweather. Who's the most successful Jake? And then you take the top 100,000 Edomites on the planet, and each and every one of them bank account is boo-booing on who you think is the most successful. Right. And tell me that's not prejudice, man.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Because Esau, he don't like you. Now, he can use you. He need to use you. Because he can't go in front of a lot of you so-called black, Latinos, and Native Americans and push everything. So what he do, he get a puppet. He pull one out of the flock, and he have them to basically push something to you, and you receive it. If you can't receive it by his mouth, he's going to bring another mouth that's familiar, you're familiar to, so-called black, Latino, Native American. Yeah. Another Jake to come and tell you something, and look what I'm doing. This is what I need you to do to get where I'm at. And our people run to. Yeah. But it's all wickedness behind him.
Yeah. He has an ulterior motive to expand his enterprise. That's a custom that's been taking place since the Babylonian Empire. You know, Nebuchadnezzar killing off, or the Babylonians killing off the majority of the people and taking, the wise men and the wise children of Israel and keeping them and putting them in different positions, training them up in the way of the Babylonians, training them up in the way of the Romans, right? And then after that, putting them into different areas, whereas they would rule in these areas and they would operate in Rome's interests. It's the same thing here in America, man. Different puppet leaders to expand into this greater beast system, man. He does that, man.
That's right. And Psalms 83 talk about how all of the nations basically come together and conspire against who? The most important nation, man. Yep. The nation who the Most High is dwelling with, which is why they all got to come together.
Right.
Yep. Just to try to put us away. But It's the Lord's will that that the elect are gonna be preserved, man.
That's right.
That's why we need to be saved. You got something?
Yeah. Psalm 37 and 32. It says the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. And that's what Esau does. He's been looking for every kind of which way just to destroy Jacob off the face of the earth. But as we read, what was that Hosea we just read? 1 and 9, we're the sand of the sea. So we're innumerable. So, and like I said, we're scattered across the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
So he cannot kill everyone. And the priest went into it. How he's going to do it unless he destroy everybody and all?
Right.
You know, that's one thing, like you say, it would be no flesh left if this man continues on, because his wickedness and his madness and his hateful to you so-called Black Latinos and Native Americans result to him just destroying the whole earth.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So the Lord, he's going to, like I said, it's going to be a world war, and it's going to be a lot of destruction, but the earth is going to basically be purified by it, and the wickedness is going to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Hey, well, like it says in, what is that, Jeremiah 30th chapter, or 31, where it talks about Jacob's trouble. It says it, right, the time of Jacob's trouble, but it says, but he shall be saved out of it.
Right.
So when Jacob is saved out of it, talking about the elect, Zechariah 13 and 8, okay, the 1/3 that's going to be brought through the fire, okay, tried and refined, the real tried and refined, they're going to be safe, man. We're going to be good, you know, and that's why we out here. We don't mind making ourselves a fool for Mashiach's sake, like 1 Corinthians, the first chapter talks about, man, because we don't need the wisdom of this world to be saved.
Right.
There's been many Jakes that's way more wise in you know, carnal things that have tried to create a system that's thriving here, man. And what does Esau do every time, man? He uses his sword.
Right.
And he just knocked down that little sandcastle we try to build, and we try to, you know, ask him to be nice and, you know, petition and shit. Like that, some Jake's in the chat, which was who's that dude, Young Pharaoh, to talk to Donald Trump for an hour. You gotta have 100,000 signatures. Like, bro, even if Donald Trump gave you the time of day, what make you think that your hour is gonna sway him to what you gonna ask him for?
Just reverse everything.
Yeah.
All right. You know, young Pharaoh gonna talk to Donald Trump, and now all of a sudden Donald Trump is gonna,
you know what,
young Pharaoh, you know what, you're right.
Right.
Very
like,
smart man.
If Kanye West couldn't do it, what the hell make you think young Pharaoh gonna do it, man?
Right. Like, come on, bro.
I don't even know. I just, like, you know, he must be, I don't even know.
He's one of them so-called black consciousness dudes, man.
Right.
But it just goes to show you how low-level Jake is, man. You know what I'm saying? How low-level Jake is. Like, oh, we need young Pharaoh to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Young Pharaoh will talk about it. He gonna drop that knowledge on us.
Man.
If Farrakhan ain't do it by now, man, ain't nobody else gonna do this shit, man.
Right.
You know? Who's holding something? Okay. Yeah, let's get that.
Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, and it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the lands, saith Yahweh, two parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Yep. That's that 2/3, man. Whether you like it or not, 2/3 of our people are gonna be burned up, or they're gonna die through the famine, like Jeremiah 15th chapter talk about, or by the sword, or such as for whatever destruction that they're gonna receive. That's what they're gonna be preserved for, that specific destruction, man. Okay. Go ahead.
But the third shall be left therein.
Right. So that third is the 1/3. We talk about the 2/3 and the 1/3. This is where that comes from.
13, Zechariah 13 and 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined.
Right. And that refining process is what we're currently experiencing. Now. We're currently going through that. Oh, is that First Corinthians 5 and 11? No. I think it's 2 Corinthians 5, where it talks about purge out the old leaven.
Oh yeah, 1 Corinthians 5 and 6, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
1 Corinthians 5.
I know it's the 1 Corinthians 5 for sure.
And,
I don't know the exact verse.
no, I'm thinking about the other one where it talk about every man gonna have to stand before. But let me get it real quick. 1 Corinthians 5 and yeah, if you got it, go ahead, pull it.
1 Corinthians 5 and 8.
Yeah.
Therefore, let us.
7.
Okay. This is 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as you are unleavened.
Right. Read that verse again, Bible Bishop.
Zechariah 13 and 9, it says, I will bring the third part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined.
Right. So the third part, the elect, are going to be refined through that tribulation, which we're currently experiencing right now, just like how silver has the dross purged out of it when you smelt it, right? I think it talk about that in Isaiah the 1st chapter, how the Israelites have become like unto dross to the Most High. Okay, impure is what that represents. Okay, because we had mingled with the ideologies of these other nations, going into again why we were scattered across the nations, because that was part of the curses for not going and following after the specific law that the Most High set to separate us from the other nations. All right, now let's go back to that real quick again.
This is 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Right. So that old leaven, to purge something out, basically means to cast it out. Okay, to extract it out, to cut it off. And leaven is likened unto, so leaven and bread is basically yeast. Okay. So that's all of the pride and the lust of the flesh and all the things that the Most High wants us to cut off, essentially, to become closer to Him. That we need to get rid of, so that we become what, a new lump of bread, so to speak, right?
Yep.
And then it talks about like as Yahushua sacrificed Himself, right? Read that part.
For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Right. So Yahushua, He was a sacrifice for us to be able to be looked at in a clean manner to the Most High again. Okay? But that purging process, or that fire process, as is written in Zechariah the 13th chapter, is a continual process up until the elect become delivered. Go ahead, bro.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 verse 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hands of Yahweh, and there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery.
Yep. So in the sight of the 2/3, we look like we was wasting our life out here. People may think that the starting with the apostles and elders on down, that 30 years of their life, or the best years of their life, when they could have been doing this and that, they were out there on the street. Look at them. That's what a lot of 2/3 think. Oh, well, it ain't nothing. Bro, if you think the 2/3 believe that they will be scoffing like they do in their head, they might not even say it out loud, but they're like, oh, well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep.
They don't take it. They're not as convicted as we were when we first heard the word. Okay, and that's what's causing them to not act, because their lack of belief. So when it happens, they're gonna be dumbfounded. They're gonna be distraught. Go ahead. Oh, that's it?
No, that's more.
Okay.
This is verse 3. And they're going from us to be utter destruction.
Right, that going from us mean when we, are put to death by whoever puts us to death, because we died for the testimony of Yahushua, okay? Or when we become sick, or when we become injured, or whatever the case is, when we go from, being who they saw us as maybe a good person, or whatever the case may be in the world, when we go and preach this word, and maybe we have to be sacrifices or martyrs for this word, it seems to be as a waste, so to speak. Okay, go ahead.
It says, but they are. It says, and they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
Right. But really, we're in peace, man. We're going to be in peace, because the scripture said the dead in Yahushua, that's the key, in Yahushua. Not all the dead in Yahushua, those who die believing in Yahweh Shem Yahshua, doing the work, are going to be raised up first during His coming. Okay, so we're going to be in peace, whereas to the contrary, they're going to be in perils, man.
That's right. That's right. Is that one? Oh yeah. Okay.
It says, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality.
Right. So we're going to be punished beyond what we're experiencing right now. Okay, in the sight of men, for the sake of Yahushua being glorified, man. And so other people are gonna see that, and they may believe. It's all for a testimony, man. The things that's gonna happen, these miraculous things that are gonna happen to us, simply because we believe in Yahushua, and the actions that we take because of our belief is gonna cause us to be made a spectacle unto the non-believers and people who have the Lord haven't changed their mind over to the truth yet. Okay.
In verse 5 it says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded.
You see? So that chastisement that we're going to receive. Oh, can we get 1 Corinthians 10 and 13? Or no, it's that 2 Corinthians. I think it's second. There is no tribulation that you face except that which is common to man.
Oh, 1 Corinthians 10 and 13.
1 Corinthians, right? 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. Okay. Yeah, oh, shot.
Okay, it says, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself, as gold in the furnace has he tried them.
You see that? So as gold is tried, that's likened unto the tribulation that we face due to the fact that we believe in the Lord and we're willing to suffer persecution to show these individuals that we believe in the Lord, because the world only loves individuals that love it. So when I say the world, I mean the masses of the people and the individuals that rule the world in this world only embrace those individuals that love this wicked way of life. Okay? So we really made ourselves outsiders, if you will, okay, to this world, because we seek a world to come that's ruled in righteousness. We're against the way that this world is ruled. So we stick out essentially like a sore thumb.
The scripture says, if ye are of the world will love its own.
Right. Is St. John 17 chapter, I believe?
I think so.
You know? Yeah. I know you had a precept for
Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
Right. So that belief that we have is sufficient for us. But those individuals who don't believe, that's according to the will of the Most High.
Right.
You know, we can't make you believe, man. We can only bring the horse to the water, but we can't make the horse drink.
Right. Because in the times like this where all these things are happening, they're looking to the government for help. They're looking to their state officials for help. They're looking to the military for help. We're looking at the Most High, and that's why we're at peace with this, because we know that all of this has to happen, man. Sure. You know?
I got a precept for you. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. I'm sorry, verse 30, Salakia. Isaiah 31, verse 1. Woe to them. Actually, you know what? Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Salakia, my bad. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
You're right. And that's what you see two-thirds of our people doing, man. They trusted in Donald Trump, man.
Right. Yeah.
They trusted in them stimulus checks and all that other stuff, man.
And they getting hella disappointed.
Yep.
Because really $1,200, like, that's probably, depending on where you live at, man, I mean, most people rent is more than that.
I mean, including all the other utilities, you know what I'm saying? Rent, electric, food, phone, internet, all these different things. That's nothing. I mean, people, you know.
Yep. I mean, that's like a weekly paycheck for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know? So that's not going to really do much.
You got to think some people's off work, you know, longer than 1 month, and they think this $1,200 going to pay for when they fell behind on some of their bills. No.
Right.
It's just going to help with the month that's already passed. You know, it may not cover all of it.
Well, it's supposed to be a stimulus check for you to go spend the money, but ain't that nothing. That's so stupid. You know?
And it's fake money anyway, so it ain't stimulating nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I got more on this. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse, and I'm going to jump down to, matter of fact, I'm sorry to go back to verse 7. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their power shall reign forever. They shall put their trust in him. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect.
That's it.
Right. So those that dealt faithfully with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's going to deal with them, and as far as excusing them from the judgment that's going to befall Babylon and all its contemporaries, man.
That's right.
Okay? And those unrighteous are going to get dealt with. Those that scoffed at the Lord's men, tried to do them harm, tried to shame them and belittle them, they're going to be dealt with by the Most High, man.
That's right.
Okay? Verse 10, it says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Right. And that's what we're going to see, those individuals who suffer by death by pain, as is written in the book of 2nd Ezra. We're not going to have any pity for them, man. Like this, Yahweh Shem Yahushua told us not to praise for these people, man. For who? The 2/3, man. They're going to die of grievous deaths. They've been allotted for that. We're reading about them in Zechariah, the 13th chapter, man. Reading about those individuals that's because of their hard-headed stiff-neckedness, the Most High is going to destroy them, man. Warning after warning after warning after warning. That's why it's even to the point where when their calamity comes, the Lord is going to put the Spirit on us to laugh at them, man.
Hey, that goes into those that fell out too. You know, it specifically said those that have forsaken the Lord, man. You know, so you guys that fell out, you know, and think that you're gonna get away scot-free, and you went back to the world, and you know, you think that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is gonna deliver you in that day, man. You're gonna be sadly mistaken in that day, man, because you forsook the assembly. You pretty much took your hand off the plow, man. You know, you pretty much made Yahweh Shai to an open shame.
That's right.
You know?
And this is a serious thing, man. The Lord will put, it's nothing, bro. The Lord is the one who puts people to death.
Yep.
He's the one who does it. He's the one that tells us, if you want to think of the Grim Reaper, go kill him. Go kill him, kill them. Right. He's the one that says, okay, give me your soul. Give me your soul. In the middle of whatever you're doing, if he wants you to die in a car crash on the way to the strip club, that's the will of the Lord.
That's right, man.
You know, or if he wants you to live long enough to experience martial law, the famine, get shot in the leg, still live, make that motherfucker get infected, and then get burned up by a missile, that's the will of the Lord. The scripture said in the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, man, men shall seek death and not find it. You know? And though that happened during the time of World War I and World War II, that's going to come to pass again, man. Where men are going to wish that they were dead. Because Daniel 12:1 is not going to pass yet.
Right.
So when that comes to pass, there's going to be more people wishing that they were dead than ever, man.
Yep.
Like I say, you got to think, when you look at, on 2nd Ezra 15, you look at how the famine is actually here upon the earth, and it's spread. When it hits here in America, then people are going to see here in America how these other nations are starting to feel. And they're feeling it now, because then they say it's supposed to be millions of people going on that's going to be starving. This is already happening. Now, when it hits here and hit home, when you starve and you ain't ate in 2 weeks, you're going to feel like you're dying. Your body's eating itself. You're going to be wanting to wish you were dead. You know? I wish I'm dead before I eat my baby. That's what you're gonna be feeling.
Yep. But you're gonna have people that's gonna want to eat their babies before they want to die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The scripture tells you how pretty much, you know, it's better to be slain with the sword than to die of famine and hunger. You know, so these people, you got people that so-called quarantine in these different countries, you know, jumping out of buildings and killing themselves and all that other kind of stuff. And it's just because it's just quarantine right now, man. So just imagine when all shit really hits the fan. You know, you're gonna have people jumping off of buildings that high. And the Most High, if the Most High want them just to be tormented, be brain dead, all body and all limbs broken down, and still be alive, man, the Most High can do that.
Because there's no guarantee that when you jump off of a 20-story building, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
When people have fell from airplanes and lived.
Struck by lightning and lived.
You up there thinking you all broke up, then you have an animal, a coyote or something,
Eat your ass alive.
eating your ass alive.
And you can't move or none of that shit. The only thing you can do is feel that shit.
Shit, a hungry person eat your ass up.
Right.
Chop your leg off and just, yeah, because that's all. Yeah.
I remember that happened on The Walking Dead. You know, the guy, he got knocked out. You know, he was knocked out clean, and then he woke up in the morning, and he woke up, and they had cut his leg off, and they was over there munching on his leg on the side. He didn't even know until he woke up.
Damn.
You know? Man, Most High is bad, man. Like, man, he's a terrible power, man.
That's why it says in the book of Hebrews, man, it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Most High. You still got that in Job 22?
Chapter 20 and verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him.
Yeah. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, which we're seeing the pinnacle of his kingdom, really his kingdom's kind of been falling for a little minute since the truth came out. Okay.
I was on the scene.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, and then the Lord allowed that falling away to happen, and in his little kingdom, in that little short time that the scriptures talk about, you know, and I believe that's Revelation 20 chapter. The kingdom, you know, build up a little bit until now. This as far as it's gonna go, man. That's right. Esau, he really has no time left. It's over. Party's over.
Your time is on the outside. You know Esau's side.
Right. We got eternity left. This man got dregs of little pinches of sand in the hourglass left, man. You know? And after that, it's Jake time, man.
That's right. That's right.
And so, Con, can you read that verse again, bro, for sure?
Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiencies, he shall be in straits.
So, straits mean position of difficulty. Okay? Go ahead.
Every hand of the wicked shall come up upon him.
Right, and I believe that word wicked is going into servants, which is going into who is it? Who are Esau's servants here on this side? The Israelites.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So not only are the other nations going to turn upon him, okay, but Jake, you know, the Most High going to put the spirit on 2/3 or whoever to just put hell on Jake, man.
Yep.
I mean, put hell on Esau.
Yep.
You know?
That links up with James the 5th chapter. How it talks about matter of fact, let me grab it.
Now you rich men. Is that James the 5th chapter?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick for you just to prove it. This is James chapter 5. I'll just jump to the point. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
It says the hire of your laborers, which is of you kept back by fraud. The hire mean not, oh, I got a job, meaning the not even reparations, if you will, but the pay, the wages. You know, the wages that Esau owes us, man, is reason enough to put him into captivity. Because he's had us in captivity and become the most powerful nation on earth off of our free labor, man. You see? And so he's going to have to go into captivity to pay, man. When the scriptures say that we're going to reward double, man. Reward unto her double according to her sins, man. which is stacked all the way up into heaven? Come on, man. This man is in ultra debt. Every second that he's in captivity, he's put himself in a deeper and deeper hole when he has to serve captivity under us, man. Under the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay? There should be more on that.
Job 20 and verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of the wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating.
Right. When he's about to fill his belly, which we've seen it come up to the point where he's getting, and the reverence that these nations have for him is going to, which Russia and China are really in cahoots. You know? Because, you know, they say that America has the best military might, was what they say. So that means that no one nation can take out America by themselves. So they're going to have to collaborate and turn against America, man. Like it's written in Revelation 7 chapter, it didn't say one head hated the whore. It said these heads, or these shall hate the whore, man. Which means these nations that America was a conglomerate with now they're going to turn against America together and destroy this mug, man.
Yep. Obadiah verse 6.
Yeah.
Y'all got something?
Somebody grab Obadiah verse 6 real quick. Because about the brother, that's
Yeah, I got a precept.
Got it.
This is Joel chapter 3 verse 1. It says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall begin again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
You see? So the Lord is going to bring nations that are going to be fighting against one another during World War III, as it's written in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, down to the Middle East, where it's going to be the playing field, if you will, for World War III. That's going to be the battle scene, okay, where it takes place, where he will plead with them, basically rebuke them. He's gonna show them who's boss, who's right, you know, because you think plead like, oh please, you know, you beseeching. No, he's gonna prove his point. He's gonna prove his cause that he's for the Israelites, right? Because it says, I will plead with them there for my servant Israel's sake. That's the reason why he's going to cause these nations to fight against one another. We're not even going to have to do anything. The elect are not even going to have to physically do anything until the Lord gives us the go-ahead to do so, man. Okay, but he's building it up now to where nation is fighting against nation, kingdom against kingdom, to where they are going to weaken. After war is fought, the nations are weak afterwards. They're not as strong as they used to be before the fight. When two men fight, they're not at top strength. If they, you know, unless it was a one-punch knockout type of fight. But if they both tussling and they wrestling on the ground, one person knock out one person tooth, other one fracture the other guy rib, they ain't at top capacity after the fight. So the Lord is going to issue his judgment by sending Yahushua and the chariots fleet to wipe out the remnant, to where, yes, they're going to be trying to fight against the Lord, but it's not going to be no match, man. And even the Lord can destroy them all right now in 2 seconds. But he wants them to suffer a little bit.
He's going to plead for his people. And if I'm not mistaken, plead going into judging as well.
Yep.
To the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Jehovah's judgment. He's bringing them into a midst of like a courtroom. He's going to judge the nations. Okay, what nations he's going to judge? He's going to judge a lot of those nations in Psalms 83, who he named that basically have got his people and cut them off of being a nation. Who is his people? That is us, the nation of Israel, so-called Black and Latino Native American. That's that's what's going to happen in your house. The Lord is going to cause major destruction.
Yep.
It's going to start there and it's going to spread throughout the earth, especially here in America. There's going to be desolate. Oh, come.
Yeah, is that it on that? Go ahead, keep reading on that.
This is Obadiah, starting at 1. The vision of Obadiah, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh. and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. But behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised.
That's right.
Yep.
He's made Babylon small amongst the heathen now, man. To where now they have the pride to come up against Babylon the Great, which is America, man. Okay, go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Yeah, Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, thinks he's just gonna rule forever, man. He thinks he's just gonna pass all these draconian laws, create a world currency, put all people captive in this new world order, and thinks he's just gonna go right along with this plan. But little does he know that that's all setting him up for the final that curtain call, man.
Yep.
World War III, then ultimately the missiles being dropped and Israel being delivered.
Yep. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high.
Yeah, you Caucasoids, man. From the Caucasus Mountains, man. Mount Petra. Let's talk about you Edomites, man. Go ahead.
High that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Right, and that's the symbol. That's what you see on your quarter, on your dollar bill. The national, the bird is the eagle, man. Okay.
The eagle has
The
landed.
eagle has landed. Okay.
The Millennium Falcon. Okay.
You know, and that's the thing about it is even these peon white people, they have this sentiment. Read it again. Yeah, this is your last verse you just read.
The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Though thou dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Right, even these peon white people walking around, these bums on the street, crackers, will say that about America. Who's gonna bring America down? America the Great.
Right.
They ain't got two pennies to rub together, man. That's that pride, man. That goes all the way back to Cain. Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, this will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh.
And when you get that word nest, when you go into it, it goes into when you go into it in the dictionary, a couple of the definitions, that word nest can mean weaponry. You know what I'm saying? So once Esau put his satellites and space stations, as well as now, what's he going to do? He wants to have the United States Space Force.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And that's being used to monitor the chariots, because ultimately he wants to fight against Yahweh Shai when he returns back. You know, so it says, once you set your nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down. That's why we're seeing this system and this structure crumble so quickly, as of now, as we speak. You know, on a whole nother level of speed now. You know? You got it.
Obadiah 5, if these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Right. So if Mug came to come in and jack, or loot a city or loot a house, they wouldn't take the bed that the person who owned the house sleeping under and everything. They wouldn't take the whole refrigerator and all of the
carpet.
Yeah, like the Grinch. You think of the Grinch, how when he would take all the presents, he would take every damn thing, man. He would take he took the crumb off of the dang on ground so the mouse couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And that's Esau, man. Because normally a thief will steal until they have enough. But this man will take and take and take and take and take until he can't take nothing no more.
Well, that's what the Lord's gonna do to Esau.
And exactly
The Lord's gonna make Esau completely desolate, man.
right.
There ain't gonna be nothing left over, man.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's why the scripture says that his desire is as hell, and hell can't be filled.
Yep.
Hell, you can't fill hell. You can't fill the grave and to a point where it's just unfillable. You just there ain't no more space. Nah, the scriptures tell you that the grave is unfillable, but for lack of better words, but his desire is as hell. Like he will not. Esau won't stop.
Right.
You know.
Well, I think that's in Habakkuk, right?
Yeah, Habakkuk too. Yep.
He coveted these lands. He can never have enough.
Yep.
Habakkuk 2:12, like it says, he will basically fill the towns by blood. rough paraphrasing.
Uh-huh.
So he how did where all the blood start here? That just all where they killed and decimated the where you call them Indians, which is the tribe of Gad. That was Esau that did that basically spread blood and shed blood throughout here. So this earth, this land here in America is defiled.
Extremely defiled. He defiled it as soon as he got over here. And it won't be undefiled until that blood that he shed gets rectified by him getting his blood shed. Okay? Which is how we know that the forefathers of the individuals that are known as white people here are not guilty, man. Or the children of their forefathers are not guilty. Because they would say, well, that was my great grandfather did that, not me. But you and your father's coming back in the reincarnation. So your blood is going to be shed because that was you in those previous lives that was putting hell on us, man. That's what's going to rectify it.
Just imagine Esau in quarantine, right? It's been a few weeks, maybe a month. And shortly, what you hear? You hear all the animals coming back, different parts of the planet being good. Man, beaches. You got turtles.
Dolphins coming up.
Yeah, dolphins.
The ozone layer is getting back in order, man, and recovering because there's less of these factories and cars on the roads, man.
Yep.
That's why we know the kingdom is going to be something unimaginable, man, because we haven't seen the earth in its glory, man, because it's been polluted by the self-proclaimed white man.
Right.
Okay? I got a precept. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So just like the brother was going into, those cracker slave owners that died at old age, that was beating us, killing us, they didn't get away with it, man. They back today, man. And they gonna receive the judgment for everything for touching the apple of the Lord's eye, man.
That's right.
Okay? They gonna get their judgment here on earth, man. They gonna get put to slavery, man, and receive a double portion of what they shelled out to our people, man.
Right.
Okay? And it ain't because we said it and we bitter. It's because that's the Lord's judgment. Okay?
I feel some type of way when I look back at what Esau has done, man.
You should make you mad as hell, man.
Yeah, and continuing to do like with no remorse. The only way he's never gonna repent. But that means he has to be put down, man. He ain't gonna wave the white flag. If it was one Edomite left, he'd still try to fight his way back and pop one of our women and try to bring his kingdom back, man. They gonna all have to be eradicated, man. Okay? Yeah, let's get that, man. Read down to verse 4. Just read all the way down.
Isaiah 64 and 1. Oh, that thou wouldest rent the heavens, that thou wouldest come down, that thou mountain might flow down at thy presence. As when the melting fire burneth, the fire causeth the waters to boil, to make thy name known to thine adversaries, that the nations may tremble at thy presence.
Right, so when the Lord returns, he's going to rend the heavens, so to speak, and crack the clouds, if you will, with his identified flying objects, identified to us. We know what they are, man. You people call them UFOs, but they're the chariots of the Lord. And he's going to make these people terrified at the sight of his presence, man, because it's going to be such awesome power. Okay? Go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Welcome, shot.
When thou didst terrible things, which we look not for, thou camest down, the mountains flowed down at thy presence. For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen, O Yahweh, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him.
Right. So in that destruction, that marvelous, terrible destruction that he's going to bring, there is going to be an ushering in of a kingdom that we've never seen. Right? It says, I have not heard, nor ear have seen the things that the Most High is preparing right? Because the scripture says that I go and prepare a place for thee, right? Yahweh Shai said that. So that kingdom is being prepared as we speak. And we haven't seen, no man has seen it except for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. No one has seen that perfection that is going to be allowed for us to rule in. No one has seen the level of beauty and all the things that we wish for on, that a man can wish for, I should say. No man has seen the level of righteousness that we're going to experience in the kingdom, man. Okay, Lord willing, we're those men. It says, those that wait for the Most High, man. Those that serve Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that believe on him when nobody else believes on him. When he put the spirit on everybody else to try to convince and try our minds to see if we really believe, okay, we still believe the elect will still continue to push and continue to hold firm in the faith because we're fully convinced in our own mind, man.
That's right.
To the point of even we're willing to die and be put to death for the sake of the gospel being pushed, man. Because we know that we don't ever truly die, man. The spirit is eternal. The flesh is the thing that's temporary, temporal, carnal. So once this flesh gets put away, all we have left is the body, man. I mean, is our spiritual bodies, our souls, if you will, which is what the Most High is going to allow us to be put into a spiritual body or an eternal body when we, Lord willing, we endure to the end. Okay, so we don't really have the same worries like the scriptures say in 2nd Ezra, put off from thee mortal thoughts. Those are mortal thoughts, man. Of course they're gonna come up, okay? But we don't really have the same fears as the people who don't know the Most High, man.
Right.
You got something?
This is going, like you say, we are actually, we rejoice as we see the downfall of Babylon the Great. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 12. It says, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for the great is your reward in heaven. All right. So, what did Yahushua tell the disciples? He said that like the brother mentioned, I prepare a place for you. So that's why the Lord said, the place He's preparing, that is basically you got to be rejoiced and be glad. All right. So rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for the great is your reward. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. All right. So it's nothing new under the sun. The prophets were the prophets, they rejoice for them being persecuted or looked down upon because they preach Yahweh Shai, okay, through the spirit of Yahweh. Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Well, that's in 1 Corinthians, the first chapter I mentioned earlier.
Right.
We've been made a laughing stock of fools for the Most High's sake, a spectacle unto the nations, all of that. But like Paul wrote in Philippians, the 3rd chapter, he said he count all the gains that this place can give as dung for the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, for the knowledge that we have, man, which is more valuable than anything that's to be desired here on this earth.
Right, Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom to give the stability of our time and wisdom of our
strength of our salvation.
Strength of our salvation.
Yep. Is there more?
It says, verse 13, it says, ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?
Right. So salt we use to bring, seasoning, if you will, or bring life to a dish. So the Israelites, we're known as the salt of the earth. We make things interesting, man. People wouldn't just pour salt in their food if it didn't make this food taste any different. Okay?
Who brought life to America?
Right.
The Israelites. Yeah.
Well, who made it? It was already lively before Esau got here, before it was even called America, man. The land where never mankind dwelt, I think it was Arsareth. Okay, that's also in 2nd Ezra 13. Okay, it was full of life, man. I would say more so now because Esau is the harbinger of death. He's the one that's bringing in all of this disease and destruction. He made it worse when he came over here.
Right.
He deduced the population of the entire North and South America, man, dramatically. Way more than the coronavirus ever could, man. He's the real coronavirus, man.
Yeah.
He's the one that we need to be putting masks so we don't. Yeah, we need to quarantine his ass, man. If all the Edomites were quarantined, this world would be straight.
It'd be nice.
We need to quarantine all. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at what we're gonna do.
Yeah, but
They're gonna be rounding them up, but guess what? They're gonna get put to work.
Yep.
Clean up all the mess they made around the planet, and then we're gonna wipe them all off the face of the earth. They gotta come back as another nation.
Yep.
Right. You know.
Yep.
You know, the spirit. You know, it doesn't. That energy never dies, but it ain't gonna be no more Edomites, man.
Right.
They're gonna come back as a Moabite or Hamite or whatever.
Yeah. He gonna fulfill his name. Wasted away is he.
That's right.
I Joshua. He gonna be smeared off the dang on whiteboard, man.
Sure.
All the way.
Clean this all.
Right.
Get Lysol about it here, man.
Yep. Yep. But first is gonna be the downfall of his kingdom, man.
That's right.
And we're seeing that right now. That's why we're so excited, man. Okay, Yahweh Shah said in Matthew the 13th chapter that the prophets that were before time wish that they could see the things that were before the disciples' faces, man. How much more now? We have the mark of the beast here. We have the prophecies. Most of them are already fulfilled. We just been waiting for a couple major prophecies. The mark of the beast, you know, Jacob's trouble to be in full effect, World War III. All of these things are right around the spiritual corner, man. So what manner of man are we to be, as the scriptures say, in our agnos anastrophe, our holy conversation? Okay, what you got, bro? Okay, you can read that. Yeah.
It's Revelations 18 and 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her.
Right, and we are going to rejoice, man. We are the prophets of the Lord, man. Believe it or not. You don't see Esau out here teaching the Bible, breaking it down. The best you get is a Jehovah's Witness with a damn poster and a top hat talking about some, I don't even know,
Hell no.
You know? They're more diligent than the Christians. I've never seen a Christian go out and preach the Bible, man, on the corners. But we're fulfilling up.
You got a few that do, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, EJ Love or who? I don't even. You know.
Man,
What's that
EJ
other
loved him. He flew off the earth somewhere.
I don't even know. What's that other? Jesus is the word. Like who?
Shit, he flew off the earth too.
So they prepping.
Right. You better be praying.
Where to go?
Praying, using that rosary or whatever you believe in. We finna find out. We finna find out if this is gonna save you in that day, man.
Right.
We are confident that our power is gonna deliver us in that day. We don't have anything else. What other protection do we have outside of that?
So Jake can eat pair of car note. That's you need the Lord like a baton.
Come on, man.
Can't even protect ourselves. We can't even have a baby trying to protect.
We can't even agree. We can't even build a family here, man.
This isn't our rest.
Mr. Getting tired of living check for check. I'm gonna make it to next month. I mean, now you see the effect of it since we're sitting at home. Some people ain't working, and it ain't like they got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank.
Most people are. This is a consumer-based society, man.
Right.
I watched somewhere where it said 90% of the revenues that were generated by the working class was spent in 2019, which means if you make $4,000 a month, you spending $3,600 a month. You ain't saving a damn thing, man. You ain't saving nothing.
It took 2,000 of that 4,000.
Yep.
Right. So these people not saving. They don't have any savings. They're living literally paycheck to paycheck. Like I do not know how. There's been months and months and months where I'm like, how the hell did I pay rent?
Spirit of the Lord, man.
Like It's that bad. It shouldn't have to be like that, man. We should have our own land. We shouldn't have to worry about payments, man. Rent and bills and all of that. We should be able to live off the land, but Esau has had it to where we're so accustomed to working under his system and making money when you don't even really need money in certain parts of the world to live just fine, man.
You're supposed to get a day's wage pay. When you work the day, you're supposed to get paid after you finish that day. But Esau had you waiting 2 weeks, sometimes a whole month, just to get the money, just to get the first check.
Bro,
It ain't even real. It's not even money. You know what I'm saying?
It's not
It's just paper.
bro,
You know?
like, how do you not perceive that you're a slave in America?
I get money. They mine.
Who's the one that made the money, bro? Who's the one that said, this is money? That's the nigga that has power.
Then I'm gonna put my face on it too.
Right. And I'm gonna write in Latin because you know niggas can't read.
Yep. I'm gonna paint in different colors. There's some paper. Here. This is called money. You know what I'm saying? When the Most High got gold, silver, cattle. You know.
Bro, that's real resources.
That's real wealth, man. Like we was talking last night about the Habsburg dynasty, man. You know, that's like I'm talking about. We got a palace with 1,000 rooms in it, man.
1,000 what?
And 1,000-room palace.
Yeah.
And that's just little compared to what the Most High got in store for us, man. But you know, gold ceilings. These are actual places. Like we was talking last night, the Habsburg dynasty. You know, Habsburg. Yep. You know, and that's little compared with what the Lord got in store for us. But you know, you living in this little 1-bedroom apartment,
Bro.
playing 2K and got a damn Coca-Cola and
Right.
you know what I mean?
875 square foot,
Yeah.
1 bedroom.
You winning.
You know what I mean? When this nigga is building stuff like this, museums and like, you gotta think bigger, man. You know, life is bigger than just what we experiencing right now, man. This really is not even life. This is death. This right here is death, man.
Yep.
Because the scriptures say that though our flesh, roughly paraphrasing, perisheth, our inner man is renewed, our outward man is perishing, our inward man is renewed day by day, man. So every day we're here on this planet, we are diminishing, man.
Yep.
But we're increasing in spirit.
So you die on the day long.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I think you said yeah.
Go ahead, bring it out. Let's go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can bring this down too.
Yeah, that was the point of Revelation 18.
It says, verse Amos 5 and 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion in a bare meadow, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it?
Start over, bro. Matter of fact, we'll read this right here, right? This is Isaiah 34:5. For my sword shall bathe in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Now read that.
Amos 5 and 18, it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Now, over here in Isaiah, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. So for all these people, so-called religious fanatics, waiting on the day of the Lord, America is a big altar, man. Yep. This is a sacrifice for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Right. This is the reason why you people are sick is for the sacrifice that you're going to put on this place. So if you talking about you design the day of the Lord, you got to worry about this sacrifice that you're going to be a part of if you're not part of the 144,000 of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Yeah, if you're not making your body a living sacrifice, you will become a sacrifice.
You go be the sacrifice.
Whether you sacrifice yourself in righteousness and submit to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or whether he makes you sacrifice, man, by killing you.
It says, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man flee from a lion in a bare meadow, and went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent met and bit him. It says, shall not the day of Yahweh shall be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it.
Yeah, so all of the dainties that you've made yourself so accustomed to here, like the scriptures say in Revelation 18th chapter again, America has lived deliciously. You know, all of the things that the flesh could desire is portrayed as something that's accomplishable here, man. To these other nations, that's why they want to come over here. And then when they make it over here, they realize that it's really a toilet bowl, man. Okay? To put it as nicely as possible. And it's always been like that, but even more so now in these days, in these last days. Is there more? I mean, if that's the point, we got precept over here. Yeah, 4-1 Bible shot.
Malachi 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Right, and we're not talking about no 250, keep the food warm, burn as an oven. We're talking about thousands and thousands of degrees Celsius, nuclear wind, blasting your flesh off, burn as an oven, man.
And that's gonna be a sweet savior unto Yahweh, man.
Right.
He gonna love that sacrifice. This is a big ass this world is an altar, man.
Yep.
You people are fucked, man.
Yep.
That's right.
Scripture says that the nations are going to see the smoke of her burning, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna just ultimate sacrifice.
Talking about from the heavens, you're going to see smoke like an altar when you make a sacrifice.
Yep.
Smoke goes up,
The scriptures say, the heavens are my throne and the earth is my footstool, man. The Lord looked down upon the earth. Like, look at these peons disrespecting me, thinking that they're going to be able, like, you talking crap to the Most High, man? I was saying Israelites with Lil Boosie spirit, man. Lord came, man, when he burned up that dude, unless he repent, it's gonna be like the sweetest drop of frankincense, man, on that coal, man.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 10. You got that?
Wait. I just said,
Yaquab, you got Yaquab for a reason, man.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Yeah, so this concrete foundation that we standing on, the trees, buildings, all of the fixtures that are out here, the light posts and all the plastic is gonna melt, man. You know how much extreme heat it takes to melt steel and all these different foundations that the Lord, that's why it's gonna have to be so many missiles, man.
right.
If it was just one nuke or 100 nukes spread across America, that's not gonna melt everything. That's not gonna it's gonna mess a lot of stuff up,
So you got one missile that can take out the whole East Coast.
right?
Well, I mean, one missile with multiple warheads.
Yeah. And but it's not gonna render this place unrecognizable.
Right.
Though it may do a colossal damage, of course it will.
Yeah.
But it's gonna take a lot of firepower, man, to just completely just melt. I'm talking about just from California to Maine and Florida, just like as if it was never there.
And then think about the oil that's underneath the earth and the gas lines. This shit
It's gonna
burning, bro.
Come on, man.
You got that in Yellowstone Park.
Yep.
That sleeping volcano under the earth. Hey, these scientists, so-called scientists, they say, man, that should pop off any day. So just imagine missiles hitting that place, man. That shit's gonna. Y'all remember 2012, the movie? Yeah, and it blew up the whole. It blew up the whole. You saw that one Edomite. He was right there in the middle of Yellowstone. He saw everything coming up, blowing up, coming towards him. All he could do was just stand there and watch.
Yeah.
And it took soot all throughout America.
Yeah. It was a big chunk of America.
Man.
They were flying in an airplane, looking down, and it's like nothing but lava.
And you saw California sinking. They saw the whole state just sinking down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start off at verse 7. So this this is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. It says, "But the heavens and the earth which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men."
Right. So the earth that we see now was chiefly America, Babylon the Great. It said it's preserved, bro. Preserved. It's kept intact. Reserved unto fire, man. What is it reserved for?
Sacrifice.
Read it again, Bible Sean.
Oh, yeah. So verse 7 it says, "But the heavens and the earth which are now, by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment."
See, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment, man. So the Lord is letting that case study build up and build up and build up. Okay, all of the pride, all of the iniquity that the Most High has allotted for these people to fulfill is gonna be fulfilled, man. You know?
I can say that's why they call it the virgin daughter of Babylon, because the Lord is preserving it, saving this virgin daughter of Babylon, so He can put His note on it,
Yep.
put His touch on it. That's why we're seeing all this stuff that's happening. It's starting in these other countries, and then it hits here in America last. Because what His Lord's doing, He's saving His best for last.
Right.
Yeah, it mentions it in Isaiah 47, about that lady. She had not known the widowhood or the loss of children. She's gonna know in that day. She think, that's why I said, she was living carelessly.
Yep.
Not really thinking about the latter end,
Right.
what was gonna happen of the consequences.
But these people desire the day of the Lord, as we just read. This is what you have to look forward to.
Hey, the scripture.
It's careless.
I was gonna say the scripture says in Obadiah that there is no understanding in him. It says they have brought thee even to the border, and there is no understanding in him. When you get that word understanding, it literally means intelligence. It goes into how they that ate thy bread had deceived thee, and they laid a wound under thee. So these different nations who have ate Esau's bread, pretty much took part of his money system, took part in his weaponry. They're gonna use they're gonna use the bread that Esau gave to them to lay a trap for him. And Esau didn't think about that in the latter end, which goes to prove that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is in control of Esau, man.
Yeah, it mentions that in Job the 18th chapter. He had set snares, and he's gonna walk over his own traps.
Yeah. The Lord has set. It says the Lord has set him in slippery places that he shall fall. And those slippery places is going to be when these different nations turn on him.
Well, man, I got it right.
You got it.
This is Revelation chapter 18. I'm going to start at verse 5. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh had remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double."
Right. So all of the Jakes that wouldn't so for dare to set their hand upon an Edomite to take vengeance because they so what's that terminology
Jealous?
we use? Well, I was talking about got that what's the name syndrome? Stockholm syndrome. All of the Israelites that that may just not know who they are, but they so accustomed to serving Esau and got that Stockholm syndrome. In that day, they're going to be rewarding unto them double. Okay, when we have the Edomites in captivity, when we have them when we have our foot on their neck, so to speak. Okay, they're going to be having the spirit of rewarding unto them double, man, because there was no Edomites that had pity on us when we were in captivity. Okay?
Ezekiel 25.
And so, with that being said, we are going to be putting double judgment upon them, man. And that's what we wait for, man.
Yep, the scripture says, I'm sorry. No, the scripture says, "Ye shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury." Yeah, So, hey, man, the Most High, he's going to put a spirit upon us. He's going to put a vicious, destructive spirit upon us to really deal to our enemies in his anger and his fury, man. We're not mad enough. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna never be mad enough until the Lord put the Spirit in us to really have our full fury on and put our mass judgment on these devils, man.
Yeah. No one's more mad at Esau than Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man.
Yep.
That's why he's gonna have to put, okay, when do we start seeing that this man is the devil and that he deserves to be put to death and put in captivity, and he deserved all of the things that he did to us when we starting from when he's had us in the captivity all the way up until today, when he still has us in captivity. When do we start thinking, man, this man needs to be punished for the things that he's done at the level that we think now? When we had the spirit of who? The Lord on us, man. The Lord put the spirit on us to disdain Esau, man. So he's going to amplify that spirit when his judgment comes. Okay? Which is coming into that time, man. That's right. It's coming into that time. We're gonna start to see more Edomites getting judged, man. Lord willing, 2020 year prophecy, man. You know, they kind of get in touch right now. Their money getting a little funny. The average Edomites, but Lord willing, it continues to ramp up, man. That's right. The what? Oh, yeah. Con. And so that's why we're gonna get this in Proverbs real quick, if you don't mind, because he think that all of the snares and things that he set is gonna allow him to get one up over, everybody else, but in reality, it's gonna come upon his own head. Right. Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein.
Right, and those snares and pits that he set is chiefly for Esau, man. I mean, chiefly for the Israelites. Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, for the most part, all of his ghettos and projects, and the reason why he's spraying them chemtrails and doing these social experiments and these vaccines and these GMO foods is to downgrade and deconstruct Israel, man, to bring us down further and further and further, man. Okay? But what does it say?
He that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
Right. So he trying to push the stone up the hill to, dismay us or to put us, in a worse position. Okay? But it's going to come back and roll on his ass, man. That's right. Okay? Because ultimately the Lord is the one that's going to judge Esau for all of his actions, man.
That's right.
Okay? That saying goes around, comes around. That's that scripture right there, man. You got some,
Jeremiah 51 verse 1, it says, Thus saith Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Behold, I will rise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me.
Right.
A destroying wind.
For a period of time, the Lord has allowed Babylon to thrive. Okay? First of all, it had to be formed, and it had to build up its power. Right? The Lord allowed that, man. He could have allowed Babylon, ancient Babylon, but we're talking about Babylon the Great now. He could have cut off America when it was a pup. He could have had the British take over, or really, it's all Esau anyway. But it could have went left many times for Esau, man. When he first came over here, the North Americans could have killed the man off, and kept fighting, or whatever the Lord wanted it to happen. It could have happened, but it happened this way for a reason. So it allowed it to be built up, right? Go ahead.
It says, I am against them that dwell there in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
Right. So he's against those who rise up against him, which we read, I believe we read it in Isaiah 14, right? Making himself like unto the Most High.
Oh, yeah.
And also Isaiah 47 chapter. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 2, it says, And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and empty her land.
Oh, that's Jeremiah 50 in it.
Yeah.
Okay, can you go to that word fanners? Because that basically going into how you're going to have the UN troops come in and infiltrate America. Because we did a lesson on this a while ago, a little bit ago. Yeah. There's going to be individuals that infiltrate America, okay, to come in basically make that hell that is going to be put upon America worser, man. Right. Okay, they're going to be, when you fan a fire, you giving that fire more oxygen to basically grow larger, grow hotter. Okay, so it's going to increase the turmoils here. Did you get?
It said to become a strange foreigner, an enemy.
Yeah, a foreign enemy is going to enter into American territories. Okay, because it says what, the virgin daughter of Babylon, which means it hasn't been really touched yet. As far as, you know, Pearl Harbor, that's like the worst of the worst, and 9/11, right? But the shores of America really still haven't been, ever since America was established, haven't been invaded like that.
Right.
You know?
If I may too, yeah. I mean, there hasn't been a war from another country set here on American soil.
Right.
Okay? America, whenever they go to fight somebody, they always try to take the fight to the enemy and fight them in their homeland. You know? And you know, that happened with Vietnam, and America got their asses whooped. All right? But it's going to happen right here on the good old U.S. of A, man.
Right.
All right? It's going to happen, and this place is going to burn, man. This place is going to fall, man. All right? And you got all these proud Edomites, man, that, you know, with this America spirit all over them, that think they can't be, they think that they can't be fucked with, man. Excuse my French, but yeah, man, you gonna see all you big Joe Six-Pack, Brock Lesnar looking Edomites, man. Y'all got something. You got another thing coming, Jack.
That's right.
It says the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. You know, I'm gonna start calling this place USB, United States of Babylon. You know, and even 9/11 and Pearl Harbor, all that was inside jobs anyway.
Right. That's right.
You know, so these different skirmishes that's gonna be over here, like when you watch that movie Red Dawn, how they had them different troops infiltrate America. You know, it's gonna be an infiltration of a whole nother level, man. But then when the angels infiltrate this place, there ain't gonna be no, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be it, you know.
If I may, it's gonna be an astonishment to these Edomites, man, when it's happening.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be able to believe it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe this is happening right here on our planet.
Yeah.
Or right here on our turf, man.
Yeah.
When you see them tanks rolling down your street, man, and they don't got American flags on them, you know, they got, you know, red stars or USSR or something like that on them from a foreign country, man. Then what, man? You think the coronavirus is gonna be some shit? Just wait till them tanks and that infantry roll through here, man.
Yep.
Rolling through your suburbs.
I got a precept for you. Jeremiah 50 and 42, and I read 42 and 43. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy.
Right. Exactly. They're cruel and will not show mercy, man. You got Americans, you got all of these movies, these producers, man, that make all these movies, these war movies. You know what I'm saying? And how they have them going around raping and pillaging and doing all these things. Well, guess what, man? That's gonna happen to you Americans, man. All right? They're gonna be pulling you right out of your homes, man, and doing all those things that you have thought of, you know, and imagined, and then put in movies and just try to portray like it's something. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be happening to you.
That's right.
All right? They're gonna be taking you captive, making you a prisoner of war. All right? Doing you know, unspeakable things to your loved ones in that day. Go ahead.
Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble.
Yeah, you're gonna be shook, man. You ain't gonna know what to do in that day, man. It ain't gonna be nothing that can save you. Not your blue, red, white, blue dog can attack or whatever he said on Iron Man 3, man. Ain't nothing gonna be able to save you in that day, man.
Yep.
All right?
It says, the king of Babylon, Jeremiah 50:43, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pains as a woman in travail.
Yeah, man. Them pains like a woman in travail, man, it comes out of nowhere. Yeah. There's not gonna be a time that it's just set, it's just gonna happen, man.
Yep.
You know, like the scriptures say, it's literally gonna come like a thief in the night, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have people that's gonna be out here trying to, you know, have marriages and be giving in marriage, and you know, they're gonna be pulling up to their Starbucks window thinking they're gonna get they soy vanilla latte. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be troops right there that ain't gonna have on no American uniform.
You saw how quickly they can shut down these neighborhoods and cities, man. 1 week you at work and, you know, going to the gym and take your girl to the movies, and the next week you sitting your ass in the house, man, with a mask on. Hey,
Cooking every day.
Every
well,
day.
how much more the judgment of the Heavenly Father, man,
Right.
when that time comes, man.
Yeah. Imagine a nation that's never experienced, really haven't really experienced any level of comfortability. You're talking about the civilians, right? How like the brother said, shook they gonna be, how dismayed they gonna be when all of what they knew, all the comforts they knew are no longer gonna be available to them, man. It's gonna make it that much more dramatic. Imagine that. You know?
I got quick precept. That's Isaiah 13:6.
Time.
Hail ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them.
Yep.
And that's what you're going to see in that time, man. All that pride's going to go out the window.
Yep.
You know, just like you watch a scene in the movie where they got the guy, they put him on his knees, and they, you know, put a gun or a sword to his neck or head. No, please, no, please, I beg you. That's how all these people going to be, man, in that time, man. They're going to be scared shitless.
Yep.
It says, they shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. They're going to be burned up, just like in that scene in Terminator 2, man. Okay? The missile's going to drop and it's going to be over. Just like when you saw in that movie, what's that movie called, man? They hit the superheroes. Missing that Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, you talking about the Watchmen?
Watchmen, yeah, when they dropped that bomb, man, and everybody was like, "Oh!" As they saw that wave of energy, completely wipe them off the face of the earth, man. That's how it's gonna be. That's how they're gonna look when the missiles dropping. Them flames are coming at them. Okay. It says in verse 9, it says, "They shall be amazed one at another; their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light." That's because there's going to be so much dust in the air, you know. "The sun shall be darkened in the going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine, and I will punish the world for their evil." So that lets you know that this destruction is going to be happening everywhere, and simultaneously throughout the dispensation of time. We're going to be beamed up, we're going to come back down, and we're going to rule the whole planet Earth. And it says, "And the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease." So that's lets you know that's talking about Esau, man. So the arrogancy of the proud, that's going to be completely wiped off the earth, man.
Yep.
And everyone's going to know it was the Most High that did it. It was Yahweh Shem Yahushua that did it, man.
Right.
There ain't going to be no questioning all, Big Bang or whatever. Okay? There ain't going to be no conspiracy theory.
Right.
Everybody going to know it was the Most High that destroyed Babylon the Great.
Right.
Yep. Ain't gonna be no fake news in that day, man.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't gonna be no what ifs, no, like the brother said, no conspiracy theories, no, calculated, none of that, man. You know, everybody gonna know what's up in that time. You know, everybody.
They're going to remember the prophets, man. They're going to remember the prophets when they're taken into them concentration camps. When that chip, everybody's in line for that chip. Okay? You got poverty, famine, and race wars going rampant. You're getting drafted to World War III.
Right.
And sent over to the Valley of the Inside Judgment. Okay? So you're going to be on that plane.
You over there throwing up, puking, because you know that's going to be your debt. That's going to be it for you, man.
Yeah.
You know? All y'all going to be like, come on over here, let's get some. Oh, yeah, you going to get some, all right?
That's right.
You gonna get all you can get, man. You gonna be all you can be in that day. And you gonna be scared. You gonna be scared shitless in that time, man.
Looking
And the
like-
Lord's still gonna put the spirit on you to fight, man. Even when you see that your end is there, man. You already gonna know. It's gonna be like you walking directly up right into the face of a tank with some rocks, man. Ain't gonna be shit you can do. You gonna be out of there.
That's right. Hey, Second Ezra, the 13th chapter talks about that.
That's right. It says, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than a fine gold, even a man than the gold wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall be moved out of her place, and in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, in the day of his fierce anger.
Right. And why is a man going to be made more precious than fine gold? Because, and not just any man, a man of the Lord specifically, because he's going to be abiding under the shadow of the Almighty, man. Right. He's going to be the one that has the protective covering, while everybody else is getting they Adam's apple blown off, kneecaps sliced off, shotgun blown through their chest. People are going to be getting utterly decimated, but somehow, some way, the Lord is going to preserve men of the Lord to be safe, man. Okay? Like the scripture said in Wisdom Solomon 5, brother read it earlier, there shall no torment touch them.
Wisdom Solomon 3.
1 Samuel 2:9. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail.
Dang. He gonna keep the foot of his saints, man.
Right.
Those that made a covenant with him by sacrifice are gonna be preserved, and the wicked are gonna be sitting in darkness. It says, those that trust in strength shall not prevail. Yeah, man. Those that loaded up with the shotguns and the pistols and the flashbangs and the bulletproof vests, Call of Duty'd up, gonna get their ass busted to the white meat.
Absolutely. All that firepower in that day ain't gonna help you, man. It's not gonna do nothing. It's gonna be your demise. You're gonna have somebody that's gonna break into your crib and that's gonna pop you with a little 38 special, take you out, and then they're gonna take all of what you got, man.
Yeah.
And arm themselves.
Yep.
Call of Duty Warzone.
Yeah, looking like I was thinking about that.
And then in that time, they're gonna have an arsenal. They're gonna have everything that you was stocking up on, thinking that all that was gonna save you in that time, and then that's your downfall, man.
Get it?
You know what I'm saying? And then it may come for them people may do that in protection of a man of the Lord.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Those.
That's right. Yeah, you're gonna have that Biggie Small spirit on him, man. Right. Give me the loot.
Yeah, man. Americans, man, you have no idea what war is all about on your home turf, man. What that's gonna feel like, man. You proud, arrogant Edomites that walk around here all the time thinking that nothing's gonna touch this place, man. You're gonna see in that time, man. There's gonna be an astonishment of fear that you've never felt before. I mean, you're not gonna be able to sleep. You're not gonna be. Everything that you think about is gonna make you afraid, man. Okay? You're gonna have hunger out of the watch. You ain't gonna be able to go to your 7-Eleven and just get a damn hot dog, man. What do you call them?
Slurpee.
A big bite and a Slurpee, man. You're not gonna have that available, man. Victuals ain't gonna be there for you in those days, man. Okay? That's why the scripture said, like, a man is gonna be more precious than the gold or fear. Okay? And you women, oh man. Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it. Y'all's judgment is gonna be something crazy. Go ahead,
Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
Yeah, man. A lot of y'all like to make fun of those third world countries, man, and how they're going into poverty, and how you feel like you got things much better than them, man. Well, guess what, man? You're gonna be sitting down, brought down low in the dust right next to them, and they actually gonna have it much better than you.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day.
Man, in one day, they're gonna come to you in one day. All the things that you talk about, all of them commercials that you be making about the other nations, man, how bad they be looking. All of that stuff's gonna happen to you in within a few hours. You see, all of this, all of your comforts and all of your wealth and all of your pleasures is all gonna come to naught in 24 hours, man. Less than 24 hours.
Hey, you know what's so crazy? Well, that makes me think about, not crazy, but that video. This might have been like the end of last year. I can't remember which brother did the video on it. It might have been an apostle that did a video on this Jake that had a dream about, like, it was basically just like time was frozen. He was looking at, you know, all of his people that he cared about. You know, his girl, his wife or whatever was looking all beautiful.
Oh,
and everything
yeah, I
was
remember.
looking great. And then the missiles came out of nowhere. He turned his head and looked at the missile, and he turned back, looked at his face. His wife's face was just so scared, so through. She was just, you know, she couldn't do shit, so helpless, like brother said. And everybody was just like, they were just having the time of their life. And in just 1 second, I'm talking about as soon, before he could even say anything, the nigga just got blasted away.
Right. And that's gonna be so sweet, man. And that's and you know, when we laugh, that's because, you know, the Most High is gonna laugh at you in that day, man. He's gonna laugh at your command. He's gonna laugh how scared you're gonna be, man.
Because Jake is not taking this truth seriously, man. The doors of repentance is not like it's closed right now at this very second. Now, is it closing and it's getting tight? Of course, yes. But the word is being stretched out across the four corners of the earth, not only in English, man, but throughout all of the other languages, major languages, man. You got brothers pushing the word in multiple languages so that the truth can be shared, man. And so, chiefly here in America, where the internet and Instagram and all of these social media platforms are so popular, Jake love posting, social media Israelite videos on you know, Instagram and Facebook and stuff so much. Well, you know, the common population don't run into a couple videos. They have the opportunity to inquire, man. Okay? But what do they likely do? They just continue on with their lives. You know?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, it says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Yeah, because the self-proclaimed white man, you know, he's the originator or the perpetrator of these sorceries. But who exceeds Esau in wickedness when it comes? What does Scripture say? Where it says, "Thou hast taught the wicked ones thy ways," something like that. Okay, basically, the Israelites have cleaved unto the way of Esau, man. You know, to where they're considered the witches, and they're considered the, you know, individuals that's perpetrated all of the lewdness that Esau has thought up in his mind to say, this is what I'm going to use to snare the people. So they all fall under that same category that's going to receive destruction, man.
That's right. No hands running handle.
That's right.
Okay. Verse 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
Right.
And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Right. Now this is chiefly talking about Esau, Edom. Okay? And this is all of the research that he's done, all of the things that he's sought out, and all of the information that he's amassed. He's using that information thinking that he is the most wisest, smartest entity in the universe, thinking that either there is no power, or if there is a power, he's smarter than him, because he's searched out seemingly everything in his mind. But the Lord is going to show him that your puny mind was created by me, by the Most High. And
check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 13, it says, thou art wearied in thy multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers and the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Right, and that's why Esau is having meetings after meetings after meetings, trying to figure out how. I mean, this is some complex shit. This man said, "All right, we're gonna take this. We're gonna make this microcomputer, right? And we're gonna insert it in everybody's hands. And then we gonna make them think that it's something, one thing, when it's really another thing. And we gonna build these infrastructures to be able to do the quantum computing that's necessary to be able to track everybody's location every single time. Like, you know how much work that takes, man?
All these cars came at once.
Safe, man. They like that. They like Club 3's looking ass. Go ahead, bro.
God, verse 14. Behold,
And that cop didn't do nothing.
behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame.
Bro, stubble is like chaff. It's like hay, just the easiest thing you can think of to catch on fire. The driest grass you can think of. You take one match to that big old pile of stubble, it's gonna go up in flames in a matter of minutes.
God. It says, there shall not, let me start over. It says, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, there shall not be a call to warn that, nor fire to set before it.
Right. Woo! They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, man. There's not gonna be any way that they're gonna escape. It don't matter if they on the tallest building on the earth or in the deepest basement. Now you got, underground bunkers and all of these things that is gonna preserve a certain amount of Edomites, okay? But they're still gonna be the first ones yanked into captivity. Okay? But the majority of these people are not gonna be able to escape the wrath of the Lord is to come, man. Okay?
And if I may too on this, alluding back to what the last part of what that brother read on that, man, I wanted to catch that last part where he said there's not going to be a part, there's going to be a special type of fire, man. It's not going to have something that's going to start it, no coal to start it, or nothing that's going to be there after it, man. To keep it going, man. It's just going to pow. You're going to be out of there, man. Right. Just like that. You know? And when the scripture is talking about rewarding her double, man, if you are on this sign right, man, how in the world can you not have the fear, man? Fear of the Lord like that, man. You listening to what is going to happen?
Job 20 and 26. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him.
A fire not blown shall consume him. You haven't even seen anything like that before, man.
Right. It's like the sun. The sun doesn't need it's fusion, fission. So that's what that nuclear missile, man. That nuclear fire. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like a fire not blown.
That's right.
That's right.
It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
Man, not all the tech and all the atoms and the scientific stuff that you've come up with that you think is the best thing on the planet ain't gonna be able to even come close to what the Most High's got for y'all, man. Got in store for all. Man, that's gonna be a real bad day to be an Edomite, man. I tell you that.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. It says, the heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath.
That's right, man. So all the wealth and the things that you think that you got that are gonna sustain you in that time, man, to where you have no worry, to where you think that you can't be touched, or you can't be dealt a blow, you can't take a L. You're gonna fall very, very fast in that day, man. Okay? The Lord's got something. I keep saying it, unfathomable, because it is, man. It's of something that's gonna be not of this world, man, that the Lord is gonna do to you. All right?
I got a precept. Well, this is back to where I left off. This is Revelations 18 and 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her.
Right, and you see how he's saying this, and we keep going, and this is written all over the Bible. It's not in one spot. It's not all doom and gloom, all revelation. This is all over the Bible, man. Okay, it is, and the prophets have prophesied about this for decades, man, at different times. Okay, about the fall of this place. All right, so it's not like it's going to be something that's, you know, that's just going to be swept under the rug and nobody's going to really talk about. Okay, this is it's a big deal. Go ahead up.
Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, that's right, man. So all the people that have traded with America, all of them that have gotten deliciously goodly goods from them, you know, that have built wealth off of this place. Because think about it, man. America has some of the biggest consumers, if it's not the biggest consuming place on the planet, man. I mean, everybody wants to trade with America, man. Everybody wants to trade with the whore, okay? Because that's like getting one of them that's like a guaranteed revenue for your country, man. That's gonna build you up real quick, you know. And so once they see Babylon taken down, man, all these other countries that was in there, you know, China, all the other people, Taiwan, all the ones that trade with her, they gonna be like, damn, what we gonna do now? You know, once they see America just implode and be destroyed, they gonna be like, well, shit. You know, they're gonna be back to poverty. They ain't gonna have nothing. Because they make a lot of their revenue and a lot of their wealth is their economy and government is based off of trading with America.
Right.
You know,
they're illegal in other. Once America falls, they're gonna fall too because their economies and their system is hand in hand. That's why whenever you see the destruction of Esau, you always see the destruction of Moab simultaneously. You know.
It's not a coincidence that when all this stuff started happening, this whole little pandemic or whatever, this COVID-19 stuff, it started happening in China, then it started happening here, and then China's economy fell, then ours fell. You know, I mean, it's neck and neck. Then you start seeing everything else start domino affecting. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. Well, I'm gonna read verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Man, in 1 hour. You see? And you know, and at the end of the day, like you said, at last, a lot of these other countries, man, they're gonna be ready for this place to burn, man. You know, because not only does America trade with a lot of those other places, but there's a lot of other countries that America puts sanctions on, man, and that embargoes and things that stop them from actually trading and getting wealthy, so that they can grow their economic structure, man, and grow their countries. You see, so they can't. There's a lot of countries out there that can't wait to see this place fall, man. Okay, Iran is one. And the list goes on, man. If you've ever had the opportunity to go overseas, you know, when you go to these other different countries, you will see a lot of graffiti and a lot of signs and things like that everywhere that says "fuck Americanism" or "fuck America." You know, they don't like you think they do, man. Okay, all these places want to see this place fall, man. They're ready for the changing of the guard. Okay, they're ready for righteous rulership, man. Okay, and they know that this place has got to go down in order for it to happen. All right.
That's why you got effigies of Donald Trump being hung. You know, him being on a noose in these different nations, man. You know, these different nations is tired of the whore, man. They tired of this devil. Like the brothers beautifully going into sanctions, all the fraud, the usury. You know what I'm saying? The debt. You know what I'm saying? These nations is mad, man. You know, they can't wait to see this devil fall, man. You know, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. It says, and saying, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught. And every shipster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off.
Bro, imagine all of the hundreds of years that it took to build America, how quick it's going to be when it's destroyed It says, in 1 hour, so great riches is brought to naught. This is the richest country. This is the pinnacle of the world. Still, technically, still the leader of so-called leader of the world. Now his power is waning, but when it's destroyed, it's still gonna be. There ain't gonna be no leader over it after, you know, outside of Israel. There's not gonna be another country that you know arises to power, and then America's a second. No, it's gonna be still America be destroyed, man.
Right.
Okay. It says, in 1 hour, such great riches brought to naught.
Man, all the goodness. Think of all of the best things that you can think of, pleasure-wise, that you've ever seen in America.
Yep.
You know, all of the houses, the mansions,
Right.
the good
Cars.
things. I mean, everything that you ever thought that you could covet or want here is gonna be done away with in an hour, man. In an hour. That's Go ahead, brother.
Verse 18 it says, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city wherein we were made rich, all that bad ships in the sea, by reason of her coastlines. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her.
And bro, Vocab Malone tried to say, where is America written in Revelation 19? When the whole chapter is dedicated to the destruction of America. I ain't gonna forget that, man. Me and this brother did a video on it, you know, going into every verse is going into how America is gonna be destroyed, man.
That's right.
Okay? In Revelation 18. And as we read earlier, the holy apostles and prophets, which are the men of the Lord that are doing the work, are going to rejoice, man. But you're going to see the other nations that have reaped the benefits of trading with this country, America, okay, going to basically they're going to be weeping and lamenting that it's over with.
Yep. Nope. Like, if I made the bag gonna be fucked up. Like y'all like to say, oh, you fucked up the bag.
Man. Because they capitalized off of the captivity that they had us in. You know?
And that's ultimately why all of them are gonna go into slavery, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
They were set contrary to us, you know? Yeah, you're gonna have work to do. You're gonna have plenty of work. The kingdom.
Right.
6 days a week. No breaks.
All gas, no brakes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got that?
This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 47. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom.
Yep. Talking about the nations that made themselves like unto Babylon, starting with Asia, because Asia, you can look at the leader in Asia is really China, okay. Now of course you got Russia, but China is really right there. So if you look at the nation that the United States is most indebted to, owes the most debt to, is China. So China is benefiting massively off of America, trading with America. Everything that we have here, for the most part, most of it manufactured.
I can't wait until this place goes.
It's just a bunch of kids. Yeah, was manufactured in China, man. Now maybe it's a symbol here, but the parts were manufactured in China because it's cheap.
Right.
Okay. So America has made pacts, or I should say more so China has made pacts with America. Moab and Edom have been in cahoots for some time now, and best believe they have been benefiting off of the captivity that Esau has had us in. Okay, and they don't look at Israelites, talking about the Moabites, don't look at Israelites as a great nation. I think a brother posted an article in the chat how Moab refused a pregnant woman, you know, a pregnant woman that was a dark-skinned Israelite in the hospital, and she pregnant.
That's good for the bitch. What the fuck you doing in China anyway?
Yeah, what the hell?
What the fuck you doing around these goddamn heathens, man?
Yeah. But the thing is, like the scriptures say, we have no continuing city, man. So it don't matter if we go to damn Zimbabwe, we still gonna be a castaway, man. Amongst these nations. That's why that's why these nations are gonna be fighting against each other. They all want dominion. But we're gonna receive it through the Spirit, man.
That's right.
Everybody want to be next, man. Everybody want to try to have their turn to rule the world. You ain't got it. Right? Go ahead.
This is verse 48. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilences, to waste thy house with destruction and death. And all those things were mentioned in the same chapters that we've been reading. Isaiah 47, Revelation 18. It says the same thing: widowhood, poverty,
destruction and death.
Pestilences.
Right, can't forget that. We can't wait, man. We want to see you niggas get put down, man.
That's right.
Y'all shitting on us too much, making fun of us in your damn TV shows, you know, drawing us as monkeys in your cartoons, making us the butt of the joke, and these old, you know, go watch some, what's the name of that, not Little Rascals. No, not Little Rascals.
Fat Albert.
No, was it Little Rascals, the old school? Or that ain't that a newer movie, like in the 90s? I'm talking about,
It's old school.
what's the one with, no, it's just old, man. It was like, it's black and white, man. What's the buckwheat? What's the buckwheat?
That's
Little Rascals, right?
Yeah.
That was in black and white.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking Sandlot or some shit, but yeah, Little Rascals. They had little Jake. It was like just like a little clip that I seen on Facebook, but it was blatant. Like they had a rope come down. I guess like you had the Edomite kid up top. He let the rope down, and the little Jake kid was standing on the bottom. He's supposed to tie the rope around himself so he could get pulled up there, and then they had him put the rope around his neck and look at us. Oh, this the wrong way. Making us a joke, as in like how they used to lynch us, man. Yeah, you know.
That's right.
But it was funny though. It was funny to the audience. Yeah. You see, so we've been, like the scriptures say in what is that? In 1 Kings, I think that's what 1 Kings, the 7th chapter. How we're gonna be made a proverb and a byword amongst these nations, man. We're really they're the most lowest, bro. They're the shit that we accidentally step on. Like, oh crap, let me wipe this off my foot. To the Most High, man.
If I can, I forget where it says it at in Job, in the account of Job, book of Job. He said he wouldn't even want his dogs around you, man. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't even want his dogs being around you, base lowly men, man. You know what I'm saying? Book of boogers, man. You guys are gonna get it, man. You're gonna return back to that lowly, base, Edomite, tick-eating, saying that you're gonna be, man. That's exactly where you're gonna be, man. That's where you came from, and that's where you shall return.
Right.
You know? Man, it's filthy, man.
That's right.
We're gonna get you for everything that you did, man. Especially how you used to hunt Jake for sport, man. Like we were some type of wild animal, man. Yep. Kill Jake, and then everybody from the city will come around and take pictures next to the body, man.
Yep.
You know, women and children and everything like that, all smiled up in that day, man.
Yep.
And y'all thought that shit was a game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got something coming, man. And then like I keep going back to that. Now the scripture says, reward her double, man.
That's right.
Double.
Yep.
And we can't even imagine what that's gonna be like, man.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, because if the Lord gave us the go ahead now to just go ahead and just render recompense, we wouldn't know where to start. We'd be like, all right, how we going? You know what I mean?
Go bust some window and shit.
We'll mess around and make it too easy on them and just, you know what I mean? Whatever the case is, no, the Lord, He has a tailor-made, custom-made judgment, man, to where our heart's meditated terror is going to be amplified times 144 when we actually execute it, man. Like that movie Brightburn, how detailed the kid was in the way that he put those individuals to death. And he have no mercy, man. But guess what? They all asked for it. You see? So it's going to be a righteous judgment, man.
That's right.
I had that precept real quick that I was mentioning in 1 Kings. Real quick, this is 1 Kings chapter 9 and 7. It says, Then will I cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, which goes into what we started off with originally, the Israelites that were scattered across the four corners. It says, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, meaning he made holy, okay, will I cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. And we're seeing an illustration of that, man. Not only have we been cast out of our land, but we've been made the butt of all of these stupid ass heathen jokes, man. These whack ass heathen jokes, and we gonna make fun of you when you're in captivity, man. It's gonna be hella funny. Okay, starting with Esau.
And if I can land back off the brother too, it ain't just Esau, man. It ain't just Esau that's making fun of Jake like that. You got these groups that are doing that too in Japan, Okinawa, and all these other different places, man.
Face painting, you know.
Yeah, they look at you and they spit on your name just as bad as Esau does, man.
Right.
You know, Esau gonna have some company in that day too, man. You can't forget about them. You can't forget about the so-called Japanese, the Hamites. Oh man, especially them, man. Especially them. Walk around and they think that they're better. They think that they're way better than you, man. They think that they're above you and you're beneath.
Right.
When in reality, it's way the other way around, man.
Right.
Them guys walk around, and even their dialect is all jacked up, man.
It's ugly.
How that they talk to you? I can't even do it right now, man. You know? They can't even halfway understand each other, man.
Right. But Jake wanna be Hamites. You seen that movie,
Black Panther?
Black Panther. That's Jake in their highest state when they're fucking Africans, man. You know?
Why would you even want to associate yourself with something like that, man?
Right. But you don't even fit.
It just don't fit.
Us and them, it don't fit. It should always stick out.
You can clearly tell that's another nation.
Man,
right? You can clearly tell that who the world so-called Negroes, man, and Africans, they're like, it's like night and day, oil and water. It's totally different, man.
Hey, brother, I ain't seen that one Jake put a plate in their lip. Y'all talking about y'all Africa, I don't know, Afrocentric, I don't get into all that shit. Y'all think y'all African, well, put a plate in your lip. You know,
man.
You gotta put the gauges in their ears.
Goddamn
Right. They got Jake, what's that, Killmonger, all them goddamn little stitches things on his skin. You know? But Jake would've knew that shit in real life.
Right. They ain't got it now. All these niggas tomorrow go back to Africa, you know what I'm saying, man, what to play that? Where? You won't wear makeup, but you won't put a plate in your lip, though?
Man, why the hell would you castrate your women, man?
Oh, bro. Man.
Yep. Stupid.
Retarded.
Man. Jake, that's some heathen shit, man.
Man.
You know? We're not heathens, man.
Right.
There's a difference between a heathen is anyone that's not an Israelite, man. That means we special, man.
That's right.
But you Jakes think you got these low-base caveman nations out here thinking that they just so swagged up, so above us, but then Jake's self-esteem is so low, self-image is so low that they're okay with being a servant?
And in the curses it said that he shall make pretty much our enemies be the head and we shall be the tail.
Bro. What?
You got the nigger woman running around dyeing her hair different colors, man. Dyeing her shit blonde.
Turquoise.
Putting them blue contacts, trying to be like the heathen nation, trying to be like the self-proclaimed white woman. You know what I'm saying? And they think that shit is on. They think that's the way to go.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and in the kingdom, man, if you're not dark skinned, you're gonna stick out. We're gonna pick on your ass. And we're not all the Israelites gonna be dark skinned, but we're talking about these other nations. They gonna try to stay in the sun extra long just so they can get a little shade darker, man. Light skins will be out of style in the kingdom, man. Okay? It's gonna the dark skin is gonna rule. Okay?
Like in Japan, I know I keep mentioning it, but Japan, and also in China, Asia, period, dark skin is frowned upon, man.
Yeah.
The lighter you are, the more pure you're supposed to be, because they all are trying to mimic the so-called white man themselves, man.
Man, damn bleaching cream.
Mm-hmm.
The hunk of the earth.
Yep. They use bleaching cream to make their skin light.
Yep.
Yeah, you got these Moabites, man, running around, and they paint their face all white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mulan.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Trip. You know?
Walking around in the sun with damn umbrellas and shit.
Let's make sure the scriptures is coming out to validate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, come on, bro.
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
That's right, man.
This is Ezekiel 35. I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and in the time of their iniquity had an end.
Right. So these other nations helped forward the affliction that the Most High set for Israel to receive for a certain amount of time, and it's to a certain level. These other nations went overboard with it, which the Lord allowed it, but it's for their demise.
Right.
Okay? Can you read that the first part again, Papa Kushan?
Verse 4 it says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Where is the preacher preaching this in the Bible? Why have we not heard these verses broken down to us, man?
Yep.
This is like the 20th scripture that we brought out going into Esau's kingdom being destroyed. Now that's some Hebrew hopscotch right there. Christian hopscotch. Christian crisscross, that's what we're gonna call it. Okay? Yeah. Because how do you avoid these scriptures when they're all throughout the Bible? Right, go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. And you can even go back to the time of the civil rights movement. You know, when Israel was trying to earn their rights as a citizen of America or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Esau had still had that perpetual hatred. You know,
perpetual. I mean,
yes.
it don't stop.
Yeah, I mean, they came back. You know, we came back in that time. They put us in slavery. Now, throughout the history of America, they just kept that hatred.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why should they be considered humans at all? You know, we're considered what, like 1/5 of a human? 3/5 of a human?
3/5 of a human being.
You know what I'm saying? Even over there in Mexico right now, Ishkar ain't in power.
Man.
All you got is Spanish-speaking Edomites down there.
Yep. Right. Yep.
Show me if you go down south in Mexico, you still have Ishkar, the color of this brother, still picking cotton for like $1 a day. You still got him doing. Esau still got him doing that to this day.
Yep. That word perpetual in the Hebrew is Iwalom, which means an ancient, or it's of antiquity. You know, so like what the scriptures say, my father Isaac's about to die. Then shall I slay my brother Jacob? Man, that ain't never stopped.
Right.
Esau ain't never had a hiatus where he just was like, okay, we're gonna relax.
Yeah.
That's what I said. When his punishment had an end, Esau just didn't stop.
Yep.
He just kept going. He furthered the affliction.
He never had a hiatus.
He's the original hater, man. Jake, want to talk about God, all these haters, will point the finger at the fucking white man.
He's scared.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool to have haters until Esau hating on you.
Right. You know.
Yep. Esau had a situation. He got wronged by Jacob one time. You know what I'm saying, and then never forgot about it. You know, and that's spiritual, man. Because even to this day, if something happens to the nation of Esau, man, you know, it's always blood. Never forget. You know, never forget the Alamo. Never forget 9/11. Never forget this. Never forget Pearl Harbor. You see what I'm saying? They don't stop, man. Going into what the brother's going into.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is Isaiah 47 and 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke. You know, so Esau took it to the next level. Kept going. Didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? He was made as a whipping stick to punish us. But Esau Esau so goddamn demented, so damn wicked, he just kept going with it. Didn't stop. That's why it said that in Ezekiel. It said that in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, he just didn't want to. He's like, man, why? I'm keep going. That perpetual hatred kicking in. You know, he doesn't want to see us prospering at all.
Yep.
You know, them Edomites, them young Edomites that were around during the know, they're young during that time, during the civil rights movement, man. You still got them out here today.
Yep.
They out there. They still racist as hell. Racist as hell. You know, they out there over there in Alabama, chilling in their country house.
Yeah, man. And you know, and the first thing they'll try to tell you is I don't have a racist bone in my body. I have black friends. You know, what does that have to do with anything, man?
You got a whole graveyard of Israelite slaves in your backyard, but you ain't got. Yeah, come on, bro.
And every last one of them had that upbringing, man, where they were telling them, you know, not to mess with Jake, man. You know. And I'm just
pay reparations, bro. They won't give the land back. You know, they won't pay for all that free labor they got, man.
Nope.
This is Psalms 137, verse 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Raise it. You know, destroy it. Take it all the way down to the bottom, man.
You know he was happy. He was elated. When he seen Israel being brought down, he was like, yes, finally. Even though he couldn't do it himself, he was cheering on the Babylonians, man. Yeah. Burn them down to the foundation.
Shirts like this.
Woo! Yeah.
Because at that time we had different pact deals with the Edomites. You know, we had different pact deals and trade deals with them. You know, so when the Babylonians came through and ramsacked Jerusalem, according to the deals and pacts, they were our allies at that time. You know, but when the Babylonians came through, they switched sides and they helped the Babylonians out, where they was gathering up Jake for them. You know what I'm saying? Putting some of them to death when they was trying to run away. They were running to an Edomite, they would put them to death or gather them up for captivity and give them to the Babylonians. You know. So I mean, hey, at the end of the day, man, that covenant that he had, I believe that's in Ezekiel 25 or Ezekiel 35, I think it is. That covenant that he had, man, he broke it. You know, and he has to pay for that. You know.
Psalms 137 and 80 says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee, as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
Woo! I remember the preacher read this in the church before I came into the church, but I was still going to the church. And he didn't break nothing down. He just, like, I was like, oh, that sounds like some serious. And then he just talked about some old shit. I'm like, that don't match.
Everybody in there, amen.
Right. I'm like, yo, like, that's why I was like, hold on. Wait, so you're not going to talk about the dashes thy little ones who eat, like, you know what I mean? Bro, this is talking about we going to be taking it. And they did this in Maccabees, man. Yep. They cut the Israelite babies out of the mother's stomachs and hanged them. Yeah.
Yeah, like women too in this country, they did that too.
Right.
They were probably reading from the NIV, so it was a little more clear and probably say like...
No, he read it from the King James. I remember it, bro. I remember, and then when I came to the church, I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Because we bring it out a lot, you know? So we going to be taking their babies, these self-proclaimed white people babies, and taking a big-ass, man, I'm talking about, like you smash a watermelon on the fucking street, and their brain's going to go every 360 direction you can think of. That shit is gonna be entertainment to us, man.
And we gonna have spiritual power. Like it was entertainment for Amaziah to throw Edomites off of cliffs and watch them just bust open.
Yeah.
That was entertainment. You know, he got off on that, man. You know, taking them up to the highest cliff and just headlong, just making them splatter.
And these fleshly minds in this westernized world, you can't imagine yourself having that type of fierce anger, man. But you gotta remember the Lord. You gotta believe that's Ezekiel 35. He's gonna put his anger on you, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, you know, I was kind of destructive, so I would take things like a grape and see how hard I could smash it on the ground, or the mushroom. I like to pick up mushrooms and see how hard I can throw it on the fence, so I can see how many pieces it can throw up. That's what we're gonna take these babies, see how fast we can blast their bodies on a stone.
Magic and terror.
Yeah. That's in the Bible. That's what the Bible, man. And talking about Esau, man. That's why the self-proclaimed white man does not want to claim his nationality of Esau, because that's prescribed for him, man.
Zechariah chapter 2 verse 7 and 8, it says, Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, after the glory he sent me unto the nations is for you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Right. And that's vengeance, man, that the Lord's going to collect for these nations for all of the things, atrocities that they have committed against the Lord's chosen people, his favorite nation. The only nation that he actually cares about.
Yep. That's one of the Lord's job, man. You know, a lot of you guys, you Edomites, man, you're gonna have a disdain, like you're gonna have a stain on you, like how it is whenever you see a roach, you know, come across you like, ah, you know, and you immediately want to kill it. That's exactly how it's gonna be, man. Edomites, man, you know.
Hey, the scripture says, "Shameful spewing shall be for her glory," man. You know, shameful spewing, man. You see that, and you're seeing that happen right now, man. All this dug up history of these Edomites doing buck breaking and, you know, alligator bait. All these different things is coming out now.
Yeah, punch bowl.
Now, when we see these things and we get mad at it, we're gonna be like, okay, in the kingdom, man. What am I gonna do, man? I'm gonna make a damn bee the size of a bird. And just put his ass in a cage and just have him get stung to death. You know, whatever you can think of. You know what I mean?
2 horses, make them go different directions.
Yeah.
Man, that's what he did.
A time to 2 chariots.
Man, Levi jeans. They got the Jake and the horse going opposite direction. It's on back to Levi jeans, bro. They split Jake in half.
Yep.
What the brother was talking about, you know, just going in. That was, you know, I grew up in the country, partially, and I used to like, you know, take a whole lot of animals, and I would take one animal that I knew that eats the other one, and I would put them together and watch them, you know, and watch it go down. And that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing to Esau, man. Throw them in there with bears and tigers and things like that, and see what they do to them.
That's what
Entertainment.
Yeah, that's what Esau did to us during the Roman captivity with the Colosseums.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be like a real life video game except in real life, man.
Like Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like Hunger Games.
You got some more you said?
This is back in Ezekiel 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate.
It said, I will prepare thee unto blood, seeing that you have not hated blood, blood is going to pursue you. So Esau is a lover of shedding blood, so his blood is going to be shed, and the sword is going to pursue his ass, man.
Right.
Okay?
If something's pursuing you, man, that means it's after your ass. Like, if you being pursued after, it ain't somebody just like, you know, walking casually. No, it's somebody pursuing after you, like Need for Speed, hot pursuits. Like, them cops be on your ass. That blood is gonna be on his ass, man.
Yep. That recompense.
Yeah.
God. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and
it says, I will fill his mountains with his slain men. So it's going to be bodies on top of bodies, like the scriptures say in the book of Joel, multitudes in the valley of decision. Multitudes of what? Dead bodies, man. Okay? Judgment, Mashapatyo, is going to be spread upon these nations, man, starting with Esau, Edom.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
More?
Yep. That also goes into how his whole power structure, his government, his officials, you know, his court systems, like the hills, the valleys, the mountains and the hills, all that's going to be pretty much his dominion period is going to be completely obliterated.
Yep.
He's not going to have no kind of he's not going to have root nor branch.
Yep.
You know, he's not going to be able to come back after this. You know.
Yes, and look, check this out. It says, and I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return.
Man,
And ye shall know that I am the Lord.
that's that word perpetual again.
Yep,
Man.
yep.
Perpetual desolations, and you not gonna come back. Okay? Malachi, what is that? 1 and 3.
That's right. That's right.
Right. There's not gonna be any return of the Edomite, part 3, in the year 2000. 2,590. Then we got a renaissance. That's not gonna be none of that, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be Esau 3, semicolon, resurrection, or none of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Return of the
Right.
Nah, ain't finna happen.
So it says, verse 10, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
Bro, the Lord hates them, man. They're demons. The Lord hates sinners.
Nah, he wants to deliver them, bro. You read it wrong.
Right. If they believe in Jesus, then they can be saved. Right?
Yeah, you didn't read it right. That's not what the Bible says, bro.
And I will make myself known amongst them when I have judged thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me.
Yeah, they are giving us to consume. They thought that we were like a damn a care package from the Most High to use as their tools to rule the world, man.
Yep.
You know, that's blasphemy, man. No, we are the kings of the earth, man. We gonna have their ass in captivity. So that's blasphemy.
Yep.
You guys-
And when you read that, it says that these two nations is going into the northern and the southern kingdom. As it tells you that in Jeremiah 50:33, Judah and Israel were oppressed together. Where did that take place? That took place here in America. That didn't take place in Babylon, ancient Babylon. You know, that didn't even take place during the Grecian and the Roman Empire.
Nowhere else, because after the Assyrian Empire, that's when the northern tribe fled over here.
Yeah. Yep. So with that, that's how you know that Esau will be ruling in the last days, and Jake will be, the whole nation of Israel will be oppressed.
Which is going back to what we started off with. The Israelites that have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, they're coming back to the realization of who they are. Yep. And we're seeing the downfall of America, okay? The same place that we've been in captivity at. This is the last captivity, man.
Yep, this is it.
That's why we so hyped. Is there any more left?
Yeah,
Okay, let's read out.
thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel.
Bro, it said the whole earth is going to rejoice. The whole earth going to rejoice when these devils is out of power, man. The trees, the animals, the ducks, everybody's going to be, everything. Mosquitoes going to be happy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Here it is, you walk downtown, you got an Edomite flashing a green light in the tree, buzzing the birds away, man.
Yeah.
Out of their own habitation.
Putting them
That's a
spikes
small
on the
example.
trees.
You know?
Right.
The whole earth is going to rejoice, man. The whole earth is mourning because this devil's ruling.
Yeah.
You know?
As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir.
And that's going into the Balfour Declaration when they took the land of Israel from us, man. Took it by a damn what's that shit called, a contract or a paper? You know, and they went over there and they portrayed themselves to be the Israelites, and they still there to this day, portraying to be the chosen people, wearing damn yarmulkes and having curls on the sides of their heads, man.
That's the same
Completely
thing
through.
That's the same thing they did when they came over here with those papal bulls. They just issued out those, you know, the Dum Diversus and the Intercaterra, for example. Just rid it away like, hey, these savages, if they don't bow down to Caesar Borgia, put them to death.
Put them in slavery and kill them.
Same thing.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
God, thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Say Edom and not Idumea. Making sure he ain't getting the words twisted.
Right. To confirm, man, that this is the target of the Most High's destruction, man.
Yep.
Okay? The border of wickedness, Esau, Edom, his kingdom is going to be brought down. We're seeing it crumble, but it's going to go all the way down. It's going to go out with a bang, man. And we're telling you that it's going to happen while it's happening, before it fully happens, so that those men can be shown as the prophets of the Lord, man.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So I think that's it on that, right? We can go ahead and wrap it up. You know, Lord willing, that was edifying. With that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.